Titties.
Alright, welcome to another episode of Leon Friends D&D 5e, where I, your Dungeon Master Leon, take a bunch of engineer and aspiring engineer friends into the wonderful world of Dungeons & Dragons. It's been a while since we've been here. It's been like how many weeks? Like a month almost?
Yeah.
Right? It's been almost a month since we were last here, so a quick recap to the players and to the two people watching this. So when you guys, the original objective coming to the city was to stow away an ancient, like, evil artifact that you guys tore from a beholder that you guys fought under the city of the Marv, which was a blackened horn. So you guys had the blackened horn, put it in a box, rode an airship to the city of Wiham, where you guys essentially dropped off the horn at the Temple of Platinum with Nibiru, what appeared to be like the head priest or some kind of figure of leadership within the Temple of Platinum. You guys did that, which was great and all, but on your way to Wiham, you guys encountered a multiple-headed creature on your way to Wiham, which you guys successfully slayed without putting much effort into it. Unfortunately, though, the thing that you slayed belonged to another group called the Brass Lion's Tooth, who consists of 4 members, and they belonged to an organization called the Hunter's Pride within the city of Wiham. So you guys breached their contract. So the day after you guys dropped off the artifact with Nibiru and his platinum people, you guys, specifically Blyatov and Magnus, went to the building of the Hunter's Pride within the Tempest district of Wiham. You guys went there, talked to a person by the name of Agatha Menjicolt, who informed you guys that you stepped within the legal boundaries of the organization, and to avoid being persecuted by the law at its fullest extent, you guys agreed in taking 2 contracts for the one that you guys breached, one of which for this half of this party is to find a murder within the walls of Wiham. So, with a mission at hand, you guys set out, gathered some clues, talked to some people. You guys met a investigator by the name of Cece, who worked within the headquarters of the Sentinels of Wiham. You talked to him. You guys also talked to a mortician, a dwarven mortician within the city, to gain some insight on the deaths of the people within the city. Gathered a little bit of information from other people, which include the mother of the first victim. You guys spoke to one of the suspects, an elder, more affluent elf living within the Tempest region, running the business called the Angel's Breath. You guys also talked to a bunch of host of other people, those of which I don't recall as of immediately right now. I don't have my notes up in front of me, but that's pretty much where you guys left off. Specifically where you guys left off, you guys went to CC's office, requested to see the confiscated items that was acquired from one of the possible suspects, who was a merchant within, I believe, the Ogma district. So you guys left off in the evidence room within the headquarters of the Holy Sentinels of Wiham, and that's where you guys left off. You guys are currently standing inside the evidence room. The investigator Cece has pulled out several items and pieces of evidence, some of which are blood-stained, specifically a sword, I believe, a long sword or a short sword, I don't remember which, blood-stained on the counter in front of you guys. A bit of a dark, kind of like decrepit kind of room. It's lit by some lanterns, I believe. Or no. CC was carrying a lantern with him, I believe. Probably some continuity error in there, but please take my apologies. It's been a while. So, what would you guys like to do?
Well, I have some notes here. I don't know. Can I recap from my notes for the party?
Sure. Let me just go ahead. I'll pull up some music.
All right. So, Kenny and Alex, what I have is we went to the location. We split up, and then I went to like the wrestling area, the arena. I think Alex went to the club, and Kenny, you went to go see the merchant, right?
Yeah.
I think our final decision was that the amethyst necklace or something like that. There was some sort of clue going on with that. I have a lot written there. For like there's something amethyst, the pendant or necklace or something like that.
Let me see if I have the evidence written down. So the evidence includes a weapon. I believe it was a sword of some variant.
It's a short sword, a lute, and a silver necklace.
There you
Silver
go.
necklace with a purple gem, if I recall.
With an amethyst.
Let me double check with my notes.
Yeah. Well, Mike already do it. Well, I was drunk,
The
so.
lute and short sword are bloody, but the amethyst isn't bloody.
Yeah.
The necklace.
Okay, got it.
Alright, is the necklace bloody?
I don't remember if I had that in my notes. Let me double check. You know what? I do apologize if there's continuity error to our dedicated viewers. All two of you guys. But yes, so there is a necklace, an amethyst necklace. Excuse me. There is an amethyst necklace, a lute, and a sword, a bloodied sword, laid out in front of you guys, neatly arranged. I do not think the amethyst is bloodied, or hold on.
It's not bloodied.
Actually, it might be. Actually, I didn't write it down in my notes, which is unfortunate. But the sword is definitely bloodied.
And the lute?
I think all of them might show some form of like some levels of being bloodstained. The sword is a definite.
So, any other questions about the evidence, guys? Because I'm ready to go back to the merchant.
I don't have any questions.
Alright, so again, you guys are in the evidence room of the Sentinels of Wiham's headquarters, which is somewhere in like the lower levels of the whole infrastructure. CC's there, kind of like laying the contents of the evidence in front of you guys. You guys just want to head over to the merchant, where the merchant was?
Sure.
Yeah.
Alright, so
Well, I mean, it's up to you guys, so.
I'm following Alex's lead, so sure.
Alright, let's go.
Alright, so 1 second. And pull up my notes. So you guys turn tail, and CC kind of like raising eyebrows. You guys just walk, like saunter out, kind of. Didn't you guys want to look at the evidence as you guys like begin to turn tail?
Wait, we looked at it. Then.
Okay, well.
We did look at it before, you know, our big.
All right, let's do a perception check.
Alright, so whoever wants to. There's more of an investigation.
Yeah.
Oh, let's do an investigation check then.
Which I'm trash at.
'Cause I rolled garbage anyway.
Let me see.
Go ahead and roll investigation 12.
Finding it.
Investigation.
Hold on.
Hindi ko alam, hindi ko yung ginagalaw. 12 and a 15.
Zero.
And a 0.
I guess I'm still hungover.
So you guys take each a piece of the evidence. Who wants to do which?
Are you gonna do the amethyst? You're not gonna do the amethyst?
You scored higher.
Alright, I'll take the amethyst.
Alright, Magnus. You take the amethyst and you will try to investigate, trying to glean anything new. It is somewhat bloodied. Not as heavily as the sword that Blyatov is currently investigating, which, Blyatov, with your 12, you do notice that it is a sword.
As opposed to a pickaxe.
It is a sword. It is bloodied. Other than that, there's not much that you can pick up, Blyatov, but Magnus, you recall that this amethyst, this necklace, has a bit of a resemblance to something that you've seen in the past. With Arithemaya 0, you investigate the loot, and it is an instrument. It is definitely an instrument to be played.
It is not an instrument. It is just a loot.
You're a little unsure if it's an instrument. It might be an instrument. It's probably an instrument. So at this moment, CC is kind of just like watching over you guys. Who, by the way, if you guys forget how he looks,
Do I have to roll a history check to remember where?
1 second. So next to you guys is a gnome. Not that tall, being a gnome. He's about 1 second. Braided white hair and green eyes, and a sharp nose. He's wearing relatively nice clothing and a spot of jewelry here and there, but on that, nothing fantastical about investigator CC. So what do you guys like to do?
Oh, I can't.
Oh, Magnus, if you don't recall personally, then yes, go ahead, roll history. With a 19, you do remember this amethyst necklace bears some resemblance to the other suspect's necklace by the name of, let me pull up his card.
Vajre Silvermoon.
Vajre Silvermoon, yes.
Hey, so I tell everyone, hey guys, this amethyst necklace looks like Vajre Silvermoon's amethyst necklace.
It doesn't look exactly like it, but
it looks similar to
amethyst
and/or
gem
not
on a
exact.
necklace. It's kind of they bear similar characteristics for sure.
They bear similar characteristics, guys.
CC's just
I know,
kind of
I
like his
support
arms
the
crossed,
party.
just like looking at you guys. Well, have you gleaned anything new?
I tell Inspector CC the situation.
So you inform CC that there might be a correlation between this and Silvermoon's necklace, and you seem kind of like begin to rub his chin. That may be something that we missed.
Elementary, my dear Watson.
What does it mean, though? And he kind of looks at you, Magnus.
That's not my job.
Well, if you're out to accomplish this contract,
let me
it
say
is
that.
your job.
I'm not that smart.
Unfortunately. And he looks at the other evidence. Apparently neither are we, and you seem kind of like straighten out his like clothing. Well, is there anything else that you need from me, gentlemen? And he looks at Arithemaya and Lady, of course.
I asked him about the gem shops around town.
Gem shops. You seem kind of pulled back. Gem shops. Is there anything you have in mind in particular?
If any had sold an amethyst necklace such as this one, maybe Vajra Silver.
It takes a moment to
Vajra
like
Silver.
think. Well, there's none that I can really think of. An amethyst. And he shakes his head. Unfortunately, no. The last link that we had between that amethyst was our other suspect by the name of. Wow, I already forgot her name. The last person to hold that amethyst was our other suspect, our second, or rather third suspect, Lionhardt. I'm sure you've met her already.
Oh yeah.
I say we go back to the merchant and ask a couple questions about how she acquired the evidence.
I agree.
Well, I did tell you guys how she got it. She pretty
Do you mind
much.
repeating it?
forgot to
Refreshing
ask
our
some
month-old memory.
Huh?
You kind of forgot to ask some questions, though. Why did she buy bloody gear?
True.
Also, another question, when you confiscated these, did you confiscate them on the same day? Or did it take a while?
He looks at you. We received a tip that someone was selling what appeared to be the belongings of our victims, and yes, we did collect them on the same day.
All three?
Yes. Does that mean
That
anything to
means
you?
that- Well, it means a little because there's still blood on the necklace and the sword, but
When we did
There-
collect it, they were bloodied, and we tried to press her for more information, but she swore up and down that they were not. Which is strange.
but a merchant looking to resell wouldn't leave merchandise bloodied for 2 weeks.
Again, she swore up and down that they weren't. Something's strange.
But they weren't bloody?
She said something along the lines of that they weren't bloody, something like that. I don't really recall the details.
Looks like we're gonna have to ask her herself to hear that story.
Alright, well, if you would mind, and you guys see CC kind of like reach out his hands as if to collect the evidence.
I give him back the sword.
Okay, he takes the sword back to you and he begins to place it where it was originally, which was amongst this kind of like dusty like table or more desk thingy. Excuse me. And for the others, and you see him kind of like waiting expectantly for the other piece of evidence.
I hand him back the evidence.
Sure, you guys hand over the evidence and he collects them and puts them back very neatly. Kind of looks at the three of you. Will that be all from me?
Yes, we'll inform you if we find anything.
Right, well, good luck to you. And you guys see him kind of, if you will follow me, kind of like starts heading towards the exit of this kind of dark, decrepit room.
I'll follow him looking and see what else there is.
Sure. He's actually leading you guys outside of where you guys originally came from.
Oh, so he's just like escorting us out?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You walk out.
Okay, eventually he leads you guys to where his office is, essentially. And as you guys reach, you see him kind of open the door, give you guys a look. And good luck. Let me know if you learn anything new. And the door closes behind him. You guys are in the headquarters of these Sentinels.
Let's head towards the merchant's place. You know where it is, right?
If I recall, it should be over in this direction. And I tried to guide them.
Sure.
I believe if I recall, it was going towards the west.
Okay.
Sentinels of Wiham HQ. Yeah, to the west.
Alright, so you guys begin heading towards a Lantha's abode/home, which is in the... One second, do I have it written down? Oh snap, I don't have it written down. That's not good. I believe she was a merchant in the district of Ogma to the southwest, I believe?
Yeah, it is
If
Ogma.
I recall, I know I didn't travel that west. So the southwest, yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool.
I know. I was like asking people where to find it.
Okay.
So I'm pretty sure it's around there.
Give me like a general like investigation check.
General? Okay.
See if you can figure out where she is. 9. 9 is not the worst. So you take like an extra like, I don't know, 10 minutes. So what would originally be like a 20-minute travel becomes half an hour. Okay. After asking around for directions, eventually people do point you in the right direction, and eventually you do find the store of Lantha, who, again, not much business to be had because people think she's a murderer. In front of her house are those 2 guards, if you recall.
Oh yeah, the ones that I kicked out. I know.
You see the 2 guards like off to the side, kind of like talking amongst each other, discussing. And as you roll up with your 2 allies, they kind of like look over their shoulders, look at you guys, and start conversing with one another again.
Alright guys, let's go ahead.
Follow up.
Alright.
Alright.
We walk in, I
Follow
guess.
suit.
Alright, so you guys walk into the homely house of Lantha Hall. Pretty modest house, nothing too crazy, nothing too lavish. Again, within the district of Ogma, I believe... Well, let me pull up that real quick. Yeah, you guys are currently in Keeper's Row.
Her house or her store?
Huh? Her house is her store.
Yeah, she has like one of those businesses, like at-home businesses.
So you guys are currently you guys walk in, and what you guys walk into is a kind of like odds and ends kind of store. But because of the situation she's put in, it's empty. There's no people shopping, and she's kind of sitting there. Well, she appears to be like cleaning or something. As you guys enter as you guys enter her shop, she kind of like looks up at you, Arithemaya, and says, "Oh, well, welcome back. Have you accomplished anything?"
In a way, yes and no.
In a way, is my name clear?
I can't really say that for sure, but we kind of want to ask you a few more questions. After some talk,
So, if you guys forgot how she looks, quick description. It's been like a month. So, in Length Hall before you guys is a silvered-haired, hazel-eyed halfling, pointed ears. She's wearing relatively modest clothing, and other than that, there's nothing too crazy about her appearance that really what's the word I'm looking for? That really stands out. Modest-looking half-elf, silver hair, hazel eyes, pointy ears. So, what do you guys want to do?
I'm gonna look around the shop to see.
Go ahead and give me a perception check. 15. Take a look at the several items that are around this area. And again, odds and ends. There's like, a trinket over here. There's like a somewhat kind of used weapon over there. It's like a wide array of objects. And with your 15 perception, you take a look around to see if there's any other bloodied objects. Unfortunately, you come up empty. There is none. And as you're looking around, she takes notice. And are you interested in anything? I do sell a wide array of items here.
I'm just looking, but I have a couple of questions with regards to the incidents as well. I'm here with,
are you friends with? And she points to Arithemaya.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, well, ask away.
My first question is, why'd you buy the bloody merchandise?
And the moment that you mention bloodied, you see her kind of recoil back, and she looks at all of you. I did not purchase anything bloodied. They were not. When they were presented to me, they were in pristine condition.
Can I do check to see if she's lying?
Go ahead, insight. First insight check of this entire mission, 15. Before you is what appears to be a somewhat flustered. Yet, with the 15, you can't really tell if she's hiding anything. She seems to be genuine in what she says. You see her brow kind of furrowed, and she looks genuinely upset.
Well, if it wasn't bloody, then how did it become bloody?
I don't know. The items were put in with the rest of it, and she kind of like motions to the other objects within the store. I put them on display like any of the other items, and they were fine. I don't understand. And
so they just happened to turn out bloodied one day?
And she kind of you notice her kind of like look around, for lack of better words, I suppose.
This person that sold you these items is the same person every time?
Unfortunately, yes. I didn't have the best feeling in the world about him, but what he offered was an extremely low price for each item, and I couldn't say no.
And do you have a description of what they look like?
Yes. She takes a moment. You see her kind of like her eyes kind of dart towards the ceiling. It looks like she's trying to remember. Well, from what I remembered, he had... She takes a moment to think. He had graying hair and I believe silvery eyes, but that's all I really remember. What I do remember was he was a rather shady character. I shouldn't have trusted him. I knew I shouldn't have trusted him. And you see her kind of like, her eyes that were darting up at the ceiling, her eyes redirect towards the floor, and you can sense a tinge of regret in what she had done.
Are you sure they were male?
I believe so.
Can I do the insight check from this point?
You may.
Damn.
With a 12, you try to listen in on the conversation between Blyatov and Lionhardt, but you can't really sense anything beyond. She appears to be genuinely regretful of what she had done. There doesn't seem to be anything hidden behind her words. But yeah, that's it.
Do you remember what day it was when they confiscated all the items?
When they confiscated all the items, it was about
Wait, what?
a week ago?
Week
About
ago.
a week ago.
No, it was. I'm sorry, I don't quite remember exactly when, but it's maybe 5 days ago, something like that.
And how long after were they confiscated since they started showing blood?
Say that again?
Where did they show blood before or after the confiscation?
I don't really recall. Everything just happened so quickly. There were so many guards in my store. It was a little frightening.
Want to do an insight check on that?
Go ahead. You see her kind of, her eyes kind of, head back towards the ceiling, and she's trying to recall the events, and, you get the feeling that she's genuinely recalling the events as she remembered them, and doesn't seem to be anything, again, there's nothing, she seems to be a more straightforward person. From what you guys glean, she's just a regular old shopkeeper.
So, you're not sure when the items were bloody and...
No, unfortunately. When I purchased them, they were fine. They were pristine condition. I thought the deal given to me was a steal. And that's why I purchased them.
And no person browsing your store has ever asked you about bloodied items, right?
I don't think so.
So how did the guards come here?
I'm not entirely sure, to tell you the truth. And you see her kind of like, scratching her head. She seems genuinely confused, trying to recall the events and answering the questions. She seems confused at best.
Well, this helped quite a bit, actually.
Don't inspect your items by any chance?
Before I purchased the items, I did an inspection, and what I learned was that those items were in pristine condition. I bought them for what he offered, or was it was cheap. And as any business owner will tell you, the whole goal is to buy low, sell high, so that's exactly what I did.
So you inspected it. Have you had any attempted robberies of any sorts?
Robberies, not
in
that
your
I
shop?
know of. Listen, the sooner you can get this all sorted out, the better. I would really much like, and she kind of motions to the store, I would really much like the business to come in again. This is no way for a person like myself to live.
Oh wait, I just realized. I was using Crush's character sheet.
Oh,
Shit.
oops.
I just realized I was using Crush's character sheet.
Yeah, I was like, you have a -1, so.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute, I have a 6.
I thought you said you were trained in.
Can I like? No, I'm not gonna retcon it. I just want to like, can I do an insight check on this one?
Sure. With 23, you attempt to glean for anything beyond her words, and you try to find for anything hidden behind her words, but unfortunately you come up empty. She seems to be genuinely confused, scared of what the future may hold for her, and again, genuinely perturbed by the circumstances that she was laid into. She just doesn't seem to fully understand what has happened. Like, she's confused.
So, can we step out of the store so I can review with my compatriots?
Sure.
Alright, so I step out of the store.
Alright, so as you guys are conversing with Miss Haw, Magnus steps out from the scene, leaving you two in the store.
Well, I tell them that I'm going to call
Sure.
them outside to converse with them.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. So before Magnus leaves the scene, he informs the two of you that that he's leaving the store, I guess.
All right.
So, what do you guys want to do?
Can I tell Lady Paul that the information that she provides was valuable and to help us clear the name of your not just killer, which I'm pretty sure you aren't, but you can't rule everything out just yet until you're sure.
You hear her kind of like sigh, a sigh of frustration. Just, please, I didn't do any of this. I'm just a shopkeeper. Why would I want to kill these people? I mean, the sooner you can clear my name, the better.
Don't worry, we're working on the case as fast as possible. It'll be cleared as soon as possible.
Alright, well, I will be awaiting your progress. And you see her kind of like readjust herself at the counter and
Now walk out.
Alright, you walk out. Arithemaya, you are left alone with Lady Haw.
I guess he's leaving. Right. Well, I guess I should follow suit. Lady
Well-
Hoff, we're gonna like resort to that quickly. Trust me.
Please
I know
do.
you didn't do it. I just needed more information. That's why.
I'm glad someone believes me. Do take care, and please, if you can help me, do so.
Alright. Alright, later.
Alright, so you leave the scene. The three of you are waiting outside of her abode here in the Keeper's Row. Again, the buildings are all very smartly made. The colors are a like a lightish bluish, I guess. The palette is of a cool color, I guess. Other than that, you guys are in the thoroughfare of Keeper's Row. What would you guys like to do?
Oh,
Guys, what you want to do? Looks like the shop.
so I just want to go over what we have so far. So, timeline skating, we have Death 1, Death 2, Death 3. Got the items got looted from the bodies. And the items were sold to the merchant, and they were not bloodied. Something happened between, and the guards confiscated the items because they were bloody. So
I have a theory, but I think that their blood was masked by magic. Actual arcane magic, which is banned in this town, which is why it would be hard for someone to recognize it. But then this case becomes even bigger because we're now hunting someone who's using arcane magic.
they're not allowed to in the city, right? Is
The
that
plot
the
thickens.
I do have something that's bothering me though. How did the police find out
Yeah.
about the bloody bodies?
Yeah.
Remember, it was a rumor at first. If you guys don't remember, the Sentinels picked up a rumor, and it led to that.
So I have a question now. How do we sense magic? How does the city sense magic being used?
They can't. There's no sense. These guys forbid magic. Sensing magic is magic in its entirety sense.
That's a good point.
So how do they enforce no magic without using magic?
If you're seen using
You have
magic,
to be caught. It's pretty much eyes only, ears only.
Music ended.
Rip.
So who has access to magic?
Huh?
Who has access to magic?
And
there might be someone in the police force to prove.
Oh, it's Nibiru.
Who's
Gabba.
Nibiru?
we could ask, but knowing the police force, they might enforce their own laws.
So you guys talk for a bit. I'm gonna go take a quick bathroom break. You guys talk.
Take a piss.
I'll be right back.
My two viewers, he's taking a piss.
How do we approach the fucking club owner without fucking pissing him off?
Just walk up. I want to speak to your manager.
No, but all seriousness, like, how do we solve this mystery? I'm really stuck on how to solve this.
Well, we need to find out more about that rumor and how it started.
More about the what?
The rumor.
Because that rumor, you get items one day, and next thing you know, the whole police force is on you.
It's hard to figure out what started a rumor, but if there is something that started a rumor.
I wonder if there's a shady part of this town. Considering it's religious, I'm pretty sure there's people kind of hate this lifestyle.
Alright, I'm back. So, you guys are currently in the thoroughfare of Keeper's Row, where people appear to have a more intelligent aesthetic, I guess.
Aesthetic.
Yeah. So, what would you guys like to do?
Well.
Oh, and also, let's move the clock. I would say that whole interaction took about 10 minutes would be fair.
Alright, so how we're gonna do this, because for me, rumors start underground. It starts with one person, spreads to the other, and then it keeps going until it gets to like the ears of the authorities or some shit like that. I mean, if we want to pursue a different character, by all means we could do that, but it's up to you.
You know what? Why don't we find the Sentinels? Why don't we ask CC to bring us or talk to the Sentinels who heard the rumor?
And then ask where he got the rumor from.
Yeah, try and source the rumor.
That could take that could take a few days, maybe. Well, not a few
Bro,
days. I'm exaggerating, but
this is-
a lot. It's gonna waste a lot of our time.
Remember, you guys have the end of, I believe, you guys have this day and a little bit of the next day. I would say maybe like noonish.
Think of this, Magnus. If we go to the officer who heard the rumor.
All right. I know. I got you. What you're saying. Why don't you give me an alternate solution then?
I mean, I'm laying down the ground here. I mean, for one, we could probably go to we could see what I know we went to the other, I guess you guys did, to the other, suspects. We got nothing out of it. I mean, Blyatov's right.
So
I mean, we could.
what's your alternative?
We have to find the source, but if we go one by one, it will take a lot of hours to deal with.
So what's your solution here?
Question to you, Leon.
Hmm.
Even though this is a religious city,
Okay.
would there still be like a bad bunch? I would say not like criminals per se, but more like like more of a rebellious type, rebels.
From what you can glean, and from your time here in the city, the answer would probably there's like a rowdy bunch, but no one of the villainous type, if that's what you're asking for.
Okay, so not like criminals who like steal or something like that, right?
Wouldn't seem like it.
All right, but a rowdy bunch though, right?
The people in Tempest, well, you haven't been to
haven't been
Tempest's district yet.
No. We could go to a bar. That's where most rumors start.
We could go and ask to see if there's anyone who can detect magic in police force.
I
It's,
mean-
I like that idea.
something.
I say we follow suit with that.
Alright, I'm just saying if they follow their own laws, detecting magic is magic. So,
No,
but
but they can't
let's
deny that
well,
magic
it's
exists.
a better option than what I'm putting out.
So let's go.
Alright.
As a quick reminder, I almost forgot. Lady Lionhardt is with you guys.
Oh shit.
I completely
Hey, Lady
forgot.
Lionhardt, what do you think?
She looks at the three of you and kind of, to be honest, I'm not entirely sure.
Okay, let's go to Blyatov's line.
So you guys are heading over to CC's.
We're following the smart guy.
Alright, so you guys take the next like 20 minutes to reposition yourselves at the headquarters of the Sentinels of Wiham, which again is a relatively militaristic kind of like building with several pillars and a staircase of the same material. There's several Sentinels walking to and fro from the building itself, and the building itself has very tall doors with several it's very militaristic in appearance. But you guys do, after about like 20 minutes worth of walking, you guys find yourselves at the headquarters of the Sentinels.
I am walking to CC's office.
Okay, you guys walk in, and you've been here a couple times, so you guys eventually find CC's office where he's sitting there. You guys see him kind of like sitting at his desk, his hand on his forehead, just looking at some papers, looking genuinely frustrated. And as you guys approach, he once again, come in.
I'm coming.
You going?
Alright, you guys go in, and CC puts his hand down onto the desk and clasps his hands in front of him. So, anything new for me?
I have a question.
Shoot.
I know arcane magic is banned in the city, but how
That's
do you
true.
protect it?
How do we protect?
Detect.
Oh, detect. Well, the short answer is we don't. Like with all crimes, it's on a if you see something, you tell someone kind of basis.
So do you
You
guys.
wanted to say something so bad.
Do you have any way of detecting something that's magical?
Unfortunately, it takes a moment to think. Because of the laws within the city, practicing magic is illegal, and therefore finding someone who can detect magic is probably just as hard. Your best bet is to ask maybe someone at the Hunter's Pride. They're the only ones who are technically allowed to do magic from the city. It's to help protect us, of course.
You gotta go back there.
Well, there poses a problem because items that are in evidence are currently bloody.
That's
When
correct.
she bought them, she said that they weren't. One thing that magic can do is, I've seen it done before, where it masks like an illusion of something.
I've never heard of anything like this. What can you tell me about this?
It can make I've seen a very crude version of it. It's like a minor illusion of sorts. But
Huh?
there is a much better version, I'm assuming, because the person I seen use it wasn't very well trained in magic arts, but he still was able to make an illusion nonetheless.
He said, I saw a shitty magician.
Yeah,
You
reality.
see CC kind of like reclined back into his chair. I'm not too familiar with magics, but if what you say is true, if we have some kind of magician murder on our hands, it would spell trouble for our city. We're not exactly equipped for this kind of person. And you see him kind of a bit of a revelation to him. Something that it appears something that he hasn't considered.
Have you ever had a issue in the past that you had to capture someone who used arcane arts?
Well, there have been some incidents where some mages come to visit our fair town and we have to set them straight, but I've never myself encountered anything like this. No. There is that one troublesome. What's his name? There's a young magician by the name of Nico something at the Hunter's Pride. He's a bit of a stubborn fellow.
No. I've actually met the lad.
Oh, you've met him. Yeah, he's a bit of a stubborn one, but we sorted him out. Other than that, no, we haven't had any encounters with illusions like the one you've stated. So unfortunately, I'm not entirely sure how to combat something like that. What would you suggest?
When you got the tip that she was selling the goods, where did you get it from, do you know?
We're not entirely sure where that came from, however, one of the guards approached me and told me. We're not entirely sure where it came from, but...
Do you know which guard it was?
Takes a moment to think. Unfortunately, no, that was... No, I don't. I'm sorry. I work with a lot of guards on a day-to-day basis. It's hard to remember who comes with what, unfortunately.
It just seems odd that there weren't any citizens complaining about this before. It didn't seem like any citizens knew about Bloody Gear. They only knew that she was under investigation. So there must have been time.
It seems a little too... You seem kind of scratch his head. It does seem like a bit of a coincidence. A little coincidental. What would you suggest?
Well, for one thing, she said that the same person sold her all 3 items. Do you happen to have a description? Have you asked her about this or no?
We did ask her for the information, and takes a moment to go through some papers on his desk, eventually pulling one out. This is the description. It's pretty basic one. He kind of slides it across the desk.
Look at it.
You take a look at the paper, and it's a very like shorthanded kind of like paper, and it says it has the characteristics and traits of it's the same exact description essentially. Silver hair, silver eyes, and I believe I don't want to give you wrong information. 1 second. One second as I pull it up. One second, I'm looking for... I think I might have given you the wrong information. I could have sworn I had it here.
You said silvery eyes and gray hair.
Yeah.
Is that it, or is that not it?
I think that's... Yes, yep.
You sure it's not gray eyes and brown hair?
Hold on.
Yeah, because that's what I put. That's what.
Yeah, I might have given you the. Hold on, let me go. I'm a little
Not to
disorganized
mention, She did recall a race of sorts.
So what she gave you was that it was a half elf, correct, dude? Is that same information?
She told us it was like elvish in nature.
Yeah,
so
it was elven in nature.
Yeah, so it could be a half elf. It could be a wood elf.
Yep.
It could be anyone of elven ancestry.
So what else do you remember?
Brown hair, gray eyes, and that was all she.
Okay, there you go. Yeah. That's sorry, I gave you the wrong description when you talked to her. It's elven descent, brown hair, gray eyes. Got it?
Yeah.
So that piece of paper that he hands you, Blyatov, it's the same description that was given to Arithemaya, essentially. Male, elven descent, brown hair, gray eyes.
So wait, who is this description?
The person that sold the items to Elanth Hall.
And that was given to the cops?
That was the description that she gave to the cops as well, yes.
Which is the same description she gave us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind then. I thought we actually found something.
If only.
Do you know of any people in this city that match this description?
Unfortunately, there's quite a few of the people in the city that matches that description, none of which are our suspects, unfortunately.
Anyone that's related to the suspects?
And he shakes his head, unfortunately, no. The closest we have is gray hair, gray eyes, and silver eyes. That would be our elven suspect.
Does anyone know details for the suspects that we have, or no?
You can ask.
Hey, Inspector CC.
Yes.
What does Vajri Silvermoon look like?
Vajre Silvermoon. Again, he goes through some papers on his desk and pulls out one, hands you the piece of paper. On it. Huh?
No, I was gonna ask, like, what it says.
Okay. On it is a quick description of Vajre Silvermoon. It just states his general appearance, which include that he has silver hair, light gray eyes. He's also the owner of the Angel's Breath, and he also has a spouse. And that's about it.
Why do I have Sybil Silvermoon Spoon?
I don't know.
Is that the wife's name? Sybil?
I
Is that on the paper?
don't. Hold on.
I think it's Spoon.
I don't know. So, is there anything else that you need from me? CC says to the party.
Wait, what was the wife's name?
Wife's name?
Sybil Silvermoon.
Do you have a name?
What's Sybil Silvermoon?
Say that again?
Sybil Silvermoon?
Sybil.
SYBL.
BLE.
BEL.
Oh. I wrote Spoon.
I don't know why you have Spoon there. Well, I think that was her name. I fortunately don't have it in my notes, which is surprising. I might be on my phone. 1 second. I don't know. So I'm missing some information from my notes. I don't know why.
The magician hid your notes.
Everyone needs to clear it up.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have. I think it was. Yeah. Okay. So yeah.
I just need to pee, so.
Okay. So yeah. So the paper on the paper has Vajre Silvermoon's description. It mentions that he's the owner of the Angel's Breath, which is, as you may or may not know, I think your character visited. It is a somewhat kind of luxurious hangout spot.
Yeah, we visited.
All of us visited.
And he has a spouse, which
Yeah.
I think, I'm not sure if that's the name that I gave you, but I think it might be Sybil Silvermoon, maybe. I don't have it in my notes, but yeah, we'll roll with it.
Okay, we're rolling with Sybil Silvermoon as your spouse.
Can't find the notes.
I can't find it. It's not on my phone either. The magician strikes again. So, what else? So, with the information at hand, what do you guys want to do?
Up to you guys. Because, I mean, we could probably go to the hunters.
Glenn,
Hunter's place
do
to
you know
play.
if, do you know if any of your suspects have any combat experience?
Combat experience. The one that fits that
Really?
description the best
And
would
golly.
be our half-orc friend.
Hmm.
Does that mean anything to you by any chance?
I'm just wondering,
Mm-hmm.
because if they were to have some combat experience, things that they might know more things than someone who they might have more context.
Mm-hmm.
Or so.
You're gonna have to speak up a bit. I can't hear you.
All right.
There you go. Perfect.
So,
In terms of combat experience, the person that fits the bill the most would be Argik, our half-orc suspect. Other than that, our friend, the shopkeeper, probably doesn't have any fighting spirit in her, and our elven friend probably has never wielded a sword in his entire life.
Now, are you assuming that based on like their profile or what?
I have another question for you guys.
What?
I don't want to ask this in front of the inspector.
Hmm?
all right.
All right, I'll put it in the chat, and then we can decide.
So investigator CC kind of looks at the four of you. Forgot that Lady Lionhardt was here.
Why do we always assume Lady Lionhardt?
Is there any other information that you need from me?
Well, let's
It
see.
doesn't seem like there's other information that we can get right now, but I think we have to question Vajre Silvermoon again.
Well, if you must, then please.
I put it in the chat, guys. I don't know if you guys.
Yeah.
So.
So we'll say
Depends. Let's just see how this goes.
that whole experience took about 15 minutes. So you guys talked with investigator CC. So what would you guys like to do now?
We're outside, right?
Sure. You guys leave the office and eventually leave the Sentinels headquarters. You guys find yourself in the Four Lords Corner, which is the center point of the city. It's currently 5:45, so the sun is beginning to set. The sky is this mixture of like blue, purple, orange, yellow, red. It's a nice bunch of hues of colors. The sun is definitely setting. The people who have excuse me. Seems like the people are beginning to thin out and the lights are beginning to turn on inside the buildings. What would you guys like to do?
So are we gonna go and ask, or are we gonna try to use that gate?
Say it again, I can hear you.
So are we gonna actually keep asking around, or are we gonna try just baiting out the person?
I don't really know what else to do, man. I'm cool with whatever you want us to do.
At this point, Lady Lionhardt chimes in. If our killer is as smart as he appears to be, maybe, and you see her kind of like reclining to thought, he might know what we're trying to do here. Perhaps he's probably not going to attempt anything if he knows that a bunch of people are looking for him.
Never mind. We're not gonna do that at all. It's not a good idea.
No,
Well,
and you see Lady Lionhardt kind of like apologetic, kind of like stands. No, it's a good idea, but I don't want to put anyone's life on the line, unless it's ours, of course. And
That's what we were gonna do, right? I thought we were baiting ourselves.
it's
Yeah.
still I just it's how
I'd rather not use it as well, but
it
the
is
only
an
place-
option. It is an option that we do have right now.
the only
I think I'm
place
just
left
stuck. I
to
have
go.
no idea where we're gonna go. Like, what's our next step, Lady Lionhardt? I'm really stuck.
Lady Lionhardt takes a moment to think. We still have a little bit of time left in the day, and she kind of like points to the horizon setting. Maybe we can ask around, or something.
Where should we go? Do you have any ideas?
I personally have no idea.
You can go back to the Angel's Breath, try to speak to
What?
Roger Silverman.
That is an option, but what did you all think of that shopkeeper?
I don't think she's this. I don't think she's guilty of anything.
I don't think so either.
I think she's just caught in the middle of everything.
If we are to ask this Vajre Silvermoon, then perhaps we should do it now before the sun sets into darkness.
Alright, let's do it.
So you guys begin to move into the Tempest district, the Warforged district rather. Takes you guys about from that distance, maybe, I don't know, like 20 minutes, I guess. Alright, so it is currently 6:05 p.m. The sun is definitely setting, and there's like this nice little corona of light at the very edge, excuse me, at the horizon, which the sky is just now this deep in blue and a little bit of, you know, that corona going on. So you guys eventually do find yourself at the posh and lavish purple themed Angel's Breath.
Did somebody say Corona?
Corona, yeah. So it is now relatively nighttime. You guys find yourself at the exit, or rather the entrance of the Angel's Breath, which again, a building that kind of stands out in this area. Okay. Okay,
You know
so
what?
what you
How
guys
should
like
we approach, boys?
There's always the front door.
I'm gonna walk in and be like, "Let me speak to your manager."
You know who said that? The guy who got killed by the trap behind the front door.
So, what would you guys like to do?
I like to do whatever Alex suggests. I mean, Blyatov suggests.
Mm-hmm. So, what is your course of action, gentlemen?
Well, our goal is to speak to Roger Silvermoon, so I guess we just have to ask to speak to him.
So, you walk into the doors of the establishment, and you are greeted by the same elderly gentleman. If you don't remember him, description. 1 second, let me pull it up. Right here. As you guys walk through the doors of this establishment, you are greeted by an elderly, what appears to be human gentleman. Thin, graying hair, silver eyes, one of which is a lazy eye. He's wearing relatively dark themed, but tasteful clothing. And he greets you, Blyatov, as you walks in. Oh, yes, welcome. How goes your investigation?
Wait, what is description?
Hmm?
Did he ever have like one eye scarred or something?
No. He has a
No?
lazy eye, though.
Oh, lazy eye, that's what it is. Does he have like any scars or marks on him?
Give me a perception check. 21. You take as he greets you, you take a look about him, and you don't see any like scars or deformities other than that one. He has his left eye is a lazy eye. And again, he greets you. How goes the investigation, sir? Have you found our killer within the walls?
Not yet. Since they're
Unfortunate. Very
not
unfortunate.
in
How can I serve you three? Well, four. I keep forgetting Lady Lionhardt.
Well, I asked him if we can get a ring with Roger Silverman again. Just ask. him.
Vajre Silvermoon. Go ahead and roll a persuasion check. 16. Yeah, pulls out like a book from under the desk and kind of like flips through it, looks at you all, his like lazy eye kind of like glazed over. I will be right back shortly. I will ask him. And takes a moment. He kind of like slowly makes his way through the corridor and through the doors at the end of the hallway, leaving you four at the entrance corridor of this establishment. So would you guys like to do anything in the meanwhile?
Well, I learned my lesson
Where
not
did
to
he leave
drink the
us?
strongest drink.
Huh?
Where did he leave us again?
I left you guys at the front of the building. You guys can just wait, or if you guys have like a plan, do something.
Is there anything of interest on the front desk, essentially? Just laying on the front desk.
Give me
Steal the key
a
card.
give me an investigation check. 18. You take a moment to look to the front desk, and you attempt to look for anything of interest within the within this front desk. Quickly rummaging through it, you just find a bunch of like papers, books, like attending sheets, like names of people who come through this area, and nothing really strikes you as, with an 18, nothing really strikes you as out of the ordinary, or it just seems like something that a front desk attendant would have. A moment passes, and eventually the front desk attendant, the elderly front desk attendant, eventually comes back, and he comes back alone and kind of hobbles up to the front desk, and terribly sorry, but Mr. Silvermoon is not available as of current.
Listen, well, maybe you can help me as well.
Of course, anything to keep the people within the walls of Wiham safe.
Can I do an insight check on that?
Go ahead. 8. You attempt to parse his words, his emotions, anything out of the ordinary. Nothing seems amiss. Just the front desk attendant, it seems. Magnus, same thing. Just a somewhat disturbing, lazy-eyed kind of dude, but it's just natural one. Yeah, for sure. How may I be of service to our... How may I be of service to our adorable little investigators? And you seem kind of like prim and proper himself.
Somebody kick my dog.
Yes, so, do you know the last day that these people
You speak a little louder, you sound kind of low.
do you know the last day that Corin Bailey entered this place?
Ah, yes, Corin Bailey. The last day that she was here was... unfortunately, the day of her murder.
Do you have the actual day on record?
The day... Let's see if he remembers. I don't entirely remember, but it was about 2 weeks ago. That poor girl. Never stood a chance. Is there anything else? You see him kind of like rubbing his hands, waiting expectantly for your questions to be answered.
What about Mari Rainison?
Rainison, our dear old entertainer. If I think about it, what would you like to know about him?
Again, the last day that they were here.
Last day that we're here. How do I think about it? I think it was here as well. Well, before they were murdered, of course.
On the same day again?
I think so.
Hmm.
You would think our club would be shut down after events like that, but you seem kind of like sheepish grin. Apparently not.
What you doing? Just looking at stuff. Yeah.
Is there any other questions that I may answer for our inspectors or investigators?
Yes. Was there a person who has a description of brown hair and gray eyes, maybe elvish, that stayed here?
Gray eyes. Let's see if he remembers anything. Oops. And he takes a moment to begins to go through his papers and goes to a book that he has. Unfortunately, no.
Do you know anyone? Well, let me do an insight check on that.
19. When he tells you no, you get the feeling that something's off. 20, natural 20. Both of you sense something's off with this character.
Oh, fuck!
Unfortunately, no one fits that description.
Do you know of anyone that fits that description?
Me? Again?
Yeah.
No, unfortunately. And a bit of a chuckle and a sheepish grin. No. Is there any other questions that I might be able to answer for you? Or would you rather take a seat inside our rooms?
This is kind of unrelated, but how'd you get that lazy eye?
Lazy eye, this one. Well, as custom dictates, not exactly a kind question to ask a elderly gentleman like myself.
Well, no, we're not
But it
from around
seems,
here, so we don't know about things.
It seems like an interesting feature you have.
Well, unfortunately, this is something that I've carried with me since birth, unfortunately.
It's not.
A defect,
It's
if you will.
weird.
Again, not the most generous of questions to ask.
I think it looks great on you, though.
You flatter me. Thank you. Now, is there any other important questions I can ask?
Ask.
Sorry, answer. It's getting a little late.
Yes. I look at Arithemaya. Any other questions?
No.
Any questions? No.
Or are you distracted there, Maya?
I'm not distracted. It's more
Like,
like I just can't think of any questions.
At this moment, Lady Lionhardt kind of approaches the counter. Excuse me, what was your name again, sir? I am Lady Lionhardt of Aldad. If you would mind us asking your name. At this moment, the elderly gentleman answers, the name's Arither. I am the front desk attendant here at Angel's Breath, of course. Now, is there any other questions I may answer?
How do you spell that?
Ryther.
What?
How do you spell
Ryther.
that?
Oh, like Slither, but with an R.
And at this moment, once given the name, Lady Lionhardt asks another question. So where exactly were you during the murder of our unfortunate victims? At this moment, Ryther answers, why, of course I was here at the Angel's Breath, doing as what any good front desk attendant would, holding the front desk. At that point, Lady Lionhardt looks at the rest of the party and takes a step back from the party.
Inside check. Inside check.
Yeah, same. Inside check.
12, 18,
17.
17.
17, 12 for Magnus, Arithemaya 17, Blyatov 18. Arithemaya and Blyatov. Something gives you the feeling that his answer was a little unsure.
Can I recall when I looked at the papers to the time where he was supposedly attending to the front desk?
What are you trying to do?
You know how I looked at the front desk papers?
Mm-hmm.
Am I able to recall if either
Give
something
me-
like the handwriting changed or something?
Give me a history check. You did go through it, wrote natural 20. Here's the thing, you don't have the actual dates of when the murders happened. You have like a general
But
like feel.
change in handwriting
Change of handwriting.
or something?
So you try to attempt to remember what was in the logbooks in terms of if the handwriting changed.
Or if the logs
It's-
just stopped?
I would say at that point, natural 20 is pretty damn strong, so here's the thing, you don't have the exact dates. Do you have the exact dates of when the murders occurred?
No, I've been trying to get them this entire time.
You don't work with us just a little bit, dude. Come on.
I've literally asked everyone about the dates, and they're like, "Oh, I don't know, 2 weeks ago." Even the police, like, they have official reports, and they're like, "Oh, I don't know, 2 weeks ago."
Even the police, like, it doesn't. Sometime. It's like hot fuzz.
But I had the feeling that you were just trying to not let me get the actual dates for some reason.
Okay, so it would make sense for the inspector to give you the dates. I'm sorry if I didn't give you the dates.
No, because every time you'd be like, "Oh, probably like sometime in the last 2 weeks."
So I do have
That's literally the only time frame I have.
So it would make sense for the inspector to give you, the investigator to give you the dates. Dates, which would be, I have it here. I don't know why I didn't give you that.
Yeah, I remember you saying like 2 weeks
10
ago.
times.
So today
I remember.
is, as of currently, you guys, it's currently I think the 22nd.
Yeah.
The first murder occurred. 1 second, I have it here. 1 segundo, por favor. So the first murder occurred on Erastus 6th. The second murder occurred 3 days after Erastus 9th. And the final murder occurred 1 week after Erastus 16th. It's currently Erastus 22nd. So, for the sake of simplicity, I would say, investigator or one of the persons who you talk to probably has the dates. So I'll say, yeah, sure, you have the dates, sure. With a history check of 20, you do realize that when you rummage through the front desk attendant's stuff, there was something amiss. Like you said, on those dates, after a certain time period, the logs stopped.
And do they stop early, like before closing time?
You don't know when the closing time is, but yeah, there was a point in time.
When closing time is.
You did?
No, I mean I'll ask when closing time is after you finish.
Sure.
the description.
You do notice that it stopped at a certain time period,
What was that time period?
like early morning.
Like
before the sun was
4
up?
a.m. type of thing?
Like
before
1ish, 2ish, like
1 a.m.?
somewhere in that time period. Sure. But yeah, you do notice something amiss.
Okay. I ask him when closing time is. For Angel's
The closing time for the Angel's Breath. Well, since we are a club and we do cater to very special guests, we close relatively early in the morning. We allow our guests to hang around until the early times in the morning, probably like 3 or 4 in the morning.
That's when you are officially closed.
We are officially closed at 4.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, thank you for this information. I walk out.
And as you walk out, Ryther looks at the rest of the party. Would you not care for a room within the Angel's Breath?
I follow Blyatov whatever he does.
So the two, Magnus and Blyatov, leave the scene, leaving Lady Lionhardt and Arithemaya. How about you two find females?
A room? A room, huh? Oh no. Let's see. What are your rates?
Well, it depends on what services you choose to procure from our list of services, of course.
Yeah, Lionheart. What you think?
Lady Lionhardt looks at your Arithemaya and she kind of like shakes her head.
No? Okay. Well, I'm
And
sorry.
you
but
can
we're
see
gonna have to
there's like this
decline.
look about her face, like a raised eyebrow kind of look, like.
All right. Well, I'm sorry, but we're gonna have to decline your offer.
She Lady Lionheart taps your shoulder and walks out of the scene and meets up with the two others.
Yeah, I walk with her.
As they're walking out, I walk back in and ask one last question. Is he
Jesus
the
fuck,
only?
Blyatov.
Is he the only front desk attendant?
Well, we do have another front desk for the rather early morning. I take care of a more later shift.
I see. Well, thank you. Very nice.
Can I not interest you in one of our rooms, perhaps? Or maybe a drink?
Oh no, let's not talk about the drink.
Maybe next time.
Alright, well, please, do come again.
Yeah, I walk out.
You walk out with Arithemaya, I'm assuming?
No, I walked out. I just said not worry about the drink because I remember the last time my character drank something from there.
Okay, sure.
Oh,
You guys
boy.
walk out.
She got fucked up.
You guys are right outside of the Angel's Breath. I would say that whole exchange took about, I don't know, 10 minutes.
Okay, we're outside, right?
Sure.
Yo, this bitch is lying.
Yes. I have there is something that's odd. When I was looking at the logs, they weren't consistent on the days of the month.
Lady Lionhardt kind of... Something strikes me as odd with that fellow. What do you all think?
There was something in his words that didn't
Do you have brown hair?
No, he has graying hair.
And silver eyes, right?
Yes. Wait, let me double check. I don't want to give you... I gave you guys bad information earlier. Let me just make sure. So, right there, the front desk attendant, the night shift front desk attendant is... Let's see, let me pull up his... graying hair, silver eyes, one of which, the left eye, is a lazy eye. So, with the newfound information that you guys have, what do you guys want to do?
Alright, so... I mean... If we all, and I mean, pretty sure we all, suspect this guy, then how should we approach this?
Are there any jump shops in the immediate area?
I'm sorry? Say that again?
No. I was just thinking if there are any gem shops in the immediate area.
Oh. So, what do you guys want to do?
Does anyone remember what Corin Bailey's description was?
Corin
Yeah.
Bailey?
Hold on.
Which one? The first victim?
Actually, no, I don't have her.
I think it escapes me. I didn't write it down. I do know she was like very young, probably in her early 20s.
I think I need more of a description on her than the others.
Hold on, let me do a history check. I'm pretty sure my character has heard it.
18. You try to remember the description given to you by various people on Corin Bailey. 18 is good.
To their family's house.
Corin Bailey. Ooh, 1 second. That's strange. Alright, well, Corin Bailey was a human, relatively low-class human. She ran the flower shop with her mother, Margit Bailey.
How do you spell that?
Marget, Margit Bailey. Other than that, she was relatively, young kind of person, probably in her early 20s.
Like physical appearance stuff.
Physical appearance,
Like
blonde,
color hair.
relatively long blonde
Physical
hair. Fair skin, like light fair skin. Other than that, nothing out of the ordinary in terms of appearance. But yeah, there you go.
What about Molly Ramsey?
Who?
What about the other victims?
Go ahead and roll history for that.
Yeah.
15. From what you remember, the other victims included a... 1 second, let me pull that up. One second, I don't. So the first victim was Corin Bailey, who died on the 6th. Next one is the one who died on the 9th, which is... 1 second. Where did I put this information? 1 second. Second victim was... 1 second. Second victim, his name was Pengali Findale. Pengali Findale had a spouse, or had, by the name of Malia Findale. Pengali was a farmer who also participated in the fighting ring. Relatively kind of middle-aged person. Again, farmer slash fighter kind of person, so definitely stocky. I think he was middle-aged, I believe. A bit of a drinker, and he was also friends with Argyk.
His wife's name was Medea Findale?
Malia Findale.
Medea. Tyndale?
You said Medea.
Huh?
Tyndale or Findale?
Findale, Findayle.
Oh, not Findale. Dayl. Fuck. Okay, that's what we gotta do next.
So, again, you guys find yourself on the outside of Angel's Breath. It's currently heading into nighttime. You guys notice that in the several buildings around you, there are lights showing up in the windows, and it's definitely entering the evening time. What would you guys like to do?
Trying to think, what is the best possible thing we could do?
Lady Lionhardt looks at the rest of the party, who are like just standing there and thinking, "Oh well, what's the course of action, gentlemen?" And of course, Arithemaya.
I think we're trying to figure it out. I'm not sure if we know where we wanna go.
Yeah, cause
I don't want to falsely accuse anyone, and I also want to stay within the confines of the law. But I'm not too familiar with the law here. Not sure what the next step of the investigative process usually is. So I'm not very well versed in it. So just trying to think, following up on what we should do, because we have a hunch that this front desk attendant may be possibly lying. But how do we get proof that he is lying without violating any laws about the club, or you can't break in?
Well, we do have a contact within the Sentinels of Wiham. It would be Investigator CC. Perhaps he can aid us in that endeavor.
Alright, let's go to Investigator CC then. I think it's a really good idea.
Getting rather late though. Hopefully he's still there.
Let's go find out.
So you guys head on over to CC's office.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, I'd say that'd take about, I don't know, 25 minutes to head in. So you guys take the time to navigate through the city streets of Wiham, eventually winding through, and I think the music died. So you guys take the time to navigate through the streets and find your way through the thoroughfare, the relatively light thoroughfare to the Sentinels of Wiham headquarters, and eventually waltzing into the front of Investigator CC's office. Thankfully, a light is flickering from the inside, which probably means he's still in there.
Alright, let's head in.
Alright, you guys open the door, and CC kind of, again, with his hand on his forehead. Knocking would be a good idea, would it not?
His hand's only on his forehead.
I'm sorry?
His hand's only on his forehead.
Yeah, he's at his desk, hunched over, hand on his forehead, looking a little frustrated about this case.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
And as you barge into his office, he comments on the fact.
I thought we missed you. Anyway, we have some information.
A bit of a sigh comes out of him. What do you have for me? So?
I pointed at Blyatov.
I asked him if he's checked the Angel Brett's logs for the day of the murders.
No, we haven't actually. Why?
There seems to be an abrupt stop where it happened before they actually closed.
An abrupt stop?
Right?
And what would that
Stop.
suggest? What conclusion are we arriving to here?
I'm not entirely sure, but why would they come to an abrupt stop on only the days of the murder? The closing time when I asked was 4 a.m., but the abrupt stop happens around 1 a.m. And when do the murders take place?
Well, and he gives you the dates of the murders that I gave you. Arrest the 6th, 9th, and the 16th, I believe. But what does this all mean? So what if there was a break? Could it be coincidence?
It could be, but 3 times in a row.
That is a little suspicious. So are you suggesting that Vajre Silvermoon is in on this? Rather, is he the one responsible for this?
I'm not sure if he's responsible. I wasn't able to speak to him exactly. But I'm sure that the front desk attendant knows more than he eggs on.
and you notice him going through some papers.
Have you questioned the front desk attendant as well?
No, we haven't. Well, we might have, but... Are you suspecting the front desk attendant of foul play, perhaps?
It might be related by some way. You also said that there are 2 front desk attendants. I only know of one, though. Do you know the description of the other? Have you been there in the morning?
I believe it was a younger gentleman. I don't really recall, but I do remember seeing him around.
Do you remember anything like eye color, hair, race, things like that?
I recall that he was a relatively young gentleman. I think he was human. Blonde hair, perhaps. So, no. So, what do you think is going on here?
We think Angel's Breath is involved with this in some way, but we can't find the link. Or at least I do.
Lady Lionhardt, what was your suggestion again?
Well, Lady Lionhardt takes a moment. There's something definitely wrong with Angel's Breath. All the murders happened with the victims leaving from the Angel's Breath, so there's definitely a connection. But like Sir Blyatov said, we're not entirely sure what connection there may be.
You said something about the Sentinels or something like that?
Say that again?
You said something, I'm asking Lady Lionhardt, but she said something about the Sentinels?
No,
A contract or an inside man or something like that?
I don't recall.
So yeah, Inspector Cece, we're not really sure how to
approach
prove,
this.
yeah, that In Your Breath is involved. We just have a lot of hunches, and a lot of our sleuthing is pointing us in the direction of this private business, but we don't want to break any laws trying to find proof.
At this moment, you see him kind of like leaning into his hand, but this time it's on his chin, and he seems kind of like, you see like the gears turning in his head. We had a feeling that all links tie to the Angel's Breath, but who could it be? What do you all think of Vadre Silvermoon? Do you think he's the one to blame for all of this? And you see him kind of fold his hands underneath the desk, and his elbows are now on the table, kind of leaning towards you guys, waiting for an answer.
I've had a chat with him, but I haven't had the chance to go too in depth with it. I'd like another chat with him before I can jump to any conclusion.
He proves to be a little difficult to reach, correct?
Yes.
Do you honestly think that our killer could be him? We could press him.
He's definitely a suspect, but
I don't think the murder were committed by him, but I think he has knowledge of who may have actually committed the murder.
If you're sure of this, I can head over there with you, and we can press him using my authority within the city, but he's not gonna like that. I don't think he ever does.
Well, who would?
Point taken. But I just want to be sure that if we do press him, that it will lead to information. I don't want to press him and come up with nothing. I don't want to get on his bad side.
Well then, I guess we have to figure out what we want to ask before we do this thing.
He leans back into his chair. If you have someone in mind, come to me, and you can use me to press them for information. But again, they're not going to appreciate that. I know I wouldn't. So be sure that we'll get something out of this. And again, I believe he kind of like taps on the table. I believe our contract ends tomorrow at noon, perhaps. So you have until then to solve this whole conundrum and receive compensation from Agatha. I know she can be a bit hard.
Will you be in the office later tonight?
Well, I would like to wrap things up. I've been here like this in the office for a couple days now, working, trying to solve who is behind all these murders.
Well, we were thinking of maybe doing a night excursion, but we didn't know if you'd be around for us to still, consult on your intelligence about investigation and police methodology.
Again, unfortunately I have to go through the information here back at the office, but again, if you need me, you can use me to hopefully gain some information. And again, you see a bit of a tired look on his face. What he said, that he's been here in the office the past couple days doing this late at night, is backed by the fact that he's starting to gain like these like bags underneath his eyes. He looks tired, exhausted,
There's
and
flies flying around him, not showering.
not quite.
I'm just kidding.
But he does seem exhausted. Again, if you need me, hopefully I'll be here in the office. I want this murder. I want justice. And he looks at the party kind of wearingly, wearisome, I think that's the word. He's tired. He's tired. I'm losing my vocab here.
Leon's tired too.
I think that's the word.
Tired?
Yeah, wearisome. Worrisome?
Are you talking about weary or
Wearisome.
worry?
Wearisome. This
Well,
word.
weary is usually just the word. I don't think wearisome is a word.
I know. I'm like asking myself, wait.
Yeah, no, worrisome is a word.
Not worrisome. Wearisome. This word. Anyways, diction aside. What would you guys like to do at this moment?
Where?
So you have CC's help in this endeavor, but it doesn't seem like he wants to go crawling about.
Well, I guess we should think of questions to ask Roger Silvermoon. Since we can
Roger
get-
Silvermoon. Good questions to ask are, where was he, during the times? We've already asked him these questions, and his alibi is
What was
pretty...
The answer he gave?
The answer that he gave,
Well-
that he was at Angel's Breath.
Well, we know one thing. We feel as if the person who may have sold the goods back to the merchant, we feel as if he may be an employee of the Angel's Breath. We're not sure in what capacity. It's definitely not the front desk's attendants, but in our course of questioning, we felt very odd about the answers that the night shift front desk attendant was giving
you
us
mean-
in regards to the person of interest.
Right.
I think an owner will have the information about the goings-ons in this club, but he may himself not actually be doing anything incriminating.
It might be worth questioning him, but we've already tried questioning him, and his alibi is relatively airtight.
Well, we're questioning him as a suspect, but maybe we can find some way to shift his cooperation as a strength or an asset for him. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying.
That's an angle I understand what you're saying, and that's an angle that I haven't considered myself. Perhaps it's worth a try.
I think it would be.
Anything's worth a try at this point.
So what happened?
I just suggested that instead of questioning Madre like a suspect, rather as someone who would have knowledge and offer some sort of leverage for him in exchange for cooperation. And Inspector CC says, I didn't think of that. What a try.
Yes, well,
What can we offer?
what do you all have in mind now as a course of action? You may be onto something. Angel's Breath definitely has something to do with these murders. If every single link, and he gets up, and he's not a man of tall stature. He gets up, and behind him is like a board where there's like a bunch of these bright threads connecting several locations on the map that's like pinned onto this board, and all of them lead to one location. And he points at it. It's all connected via Angel's Breath. There's something there, but we're not entirely sure what it is. Perhaps, maybe.
Have you guys investigated the building itself?
Well, we did when we first. We did a general sweep of the area, but came up with nothing, unfortunately.
Have you asked about their employees there?
Well, our primary suspect was Badri Silvermoon. Most of our questions landed on him, but we did ask a couple employees. They didn't seem very knowledgeable. They knew who the patrons were, but that's about it. Well, and Mr. CC, Investigator CC, sits back down on his chair and clasps his hands in front of him onto the desk. So, what do you all propose?
We definitely need to talk to him through some method.
Badri Silvermoon?
Yes.
Again, you can use me to, unfortunately,
But
force our
before
ways
that,
in.
we want to know what we're gonna ask. So we need to find out the questions that we need to ask him. First is we need to ask him about the front desk worker, when he started there, things like that.
Right.
Next, we need to ask about the description that was given to us by the merchant. If he knows anyone with that description. The front desk worker said no, so I'm not sure.
Alright.
And next, we need to ask him about his closing time and if there's any reason he's ever closed early.
Okay.
What else do we need to ask? What was his alibi again?
His alibi was during the times of murder. He was at the Silver Moon. I'm sorry. He was at the Angel's Breath, which other witnesses can corroborate, and they've confirmed that he was indeed at the Angel's Breath. But we kept him as our primary suspect because, like you said, there are very strong connections between our murders and the Angel's Breath. And he does have a motive in terms of Corn Bailey. The other ones we're not entirely sure of, though.
How long has the Angel's Breath been there?
Oh, it's been around for quite a while. You see, in the city of Wiham, there's not much in forms of entertainment. The arena is one form of entertainment, and the Angel's Breath is another. Entertainment is something that we need here within the city walls.
I'm guessing Roger Silverman was there since the beginning.
Not since the beginning. This is the very first city of our entire civilization. So not since the beginning, but he's been around for quite a while.
What was that?
Huh?
Sounds back here.
Oh, sorry, that was me.
Oh. I was like, who died?
It was another victim. There's a fourth victim now. So, We know that Angel's Breath has something to do with these murders, that's for sure. Padre Silverman might have a link to the murders. Maybe. What's the course of action here?
Each murder was in one separate district, right? So
Correct.
there's one that's left.
Hmm.
Why would they target each separate district instead of just
Say that again?
whatever's? Why would they target separate districts though?
It might just be coincidence, but maybe there's something behind it. But again, they all lead back to the Angel's Breath. Listen, if you have no more questions for me, if you could please give me some time to go over what we found out, maybe we can come up with something. In the meantime, perhaps it would be best to use this time. And he looks out the window. Very clearly nighttime, by the way. Perhaps it would be best to go to the Angel's Breath. Maybe you can ask around or something. In the meantime, any kind of motions to the door, which is currently to your side.
I nod and walk out.
And he nods as you guys leave. You guys, I would say that whole interaction took maybe, I don't know, 20 minutes would be fair. So it's currently 7 o'clock at night right now. As you guys exit the office and eventually, the headquarters of the Sentinels, you guys are ushered out into the streets where there's like a few people walking around here or there. Actually no, with the murders going on, it's like pretty sparse. You know, there's like maybe one over there, but it's like very sparse right now. The most folk that you see on the streets right now are Sentinels. All the houses around the districts, all of them are lit up with lights from the interior, and again, you guys are in front of the headquarters of the Sentinels.
Yo, Ken, you got any thoughts on what we should do?
I'm literally just thinking, like...
So you're thinking, so what are these thoughts that you're thinking? That's what I'm asking.
Excuse me.
Now I'm thinking about Leon's burp. It's a good burp.
It's Nibiru, I'm telling you guys.
I don't know why Nibiru...
Based on the information that was given, as far as, you know... As far as trying to pry information out of Angel's Breath, it's pretty delicate. I mean, we could use CC, but I kind of have to agree with every one of you. I don't want to be on the receiving end of an interrogation from.
I have a question.
Sir. Yeah.
So what's like? Let's say we don't figure out who it is. What's that going to cost us?
I don't know, you tell me.
I don't know. Jail time.
We go to jail if we don't figure it out.
Okay.
Well, think of it this way.
The contract.
It's the contract.
You fail the contract.
Which, I mean, I could sneak out of prison, but...
So.
But yeah, I mean... Honestly, the best course of action is the direct approach. But more in a subtle way, I should say, but...
Okay, direct your approach in a subtle way. Can you tell me what that actually is? Like, what is the action that is direct but also yet subtle? Don't tell me how the action should be. Tell me what the action is.
As you guys are arguing, Lady Lionhardt kind of stifles a chuckle.
More like... I mean, I'm gonna be quite honest with you. I really would prefer the bait approach.
So what is the bait approach?
As in use me as live bait. But considering that we've been out in the streets for God knows how long, and they probably have eyes on us, that's probably an option that we don't do. So
you just tell me that we should do something, but then you immediately say right after that we shouldn't do something.
Because it just crossed my mind that it really did happen. So I mean, we could ask Padre Silverman.
Kenny, out of character, like, what do you think we should do?
Maybe we could ask Padre Silverman. That's
All right,
just me.
Alex,
I
out
go-
of character, what do you think we should do?
I don't know.
Out of character, what do you think we should do?
I don't know.
Lady Lionhardt, out of character, what do you think we should do?
You tell
Hey,
me.
you're
phone
an
who dis.
NPC right now, okay?
New phone. This.
You're a player character, okay?
The phone who dis.
What do you think we should do?
What do I think we should do?
I don't know.
Burn the city
I
down.
just don't want to fuck everything up.
It doesn't matter. What do you think we should do?
If the contract doesn't matter, I say we go bring in Silver Moon, but ask him not as like an arrest, but like I don't know what sort of leverage we can give him, but I think we should basically bring him in as like an expert witness.
We need to roll that akimbo in my 20s again.
Yeah, that's what we need. We need the Akimbo Nat 20s. And try and get him on our side to get us. Why should he give us information? Is he? I don't know if he doesn't like the police. I don't know what his standing is with the city. Is he involved in crime? That's why he doesn't like the police. Is he like not a narc, or is he an honest businessman who's just got put in a really weird position with his branding? I don't.
Blyatov, if
I
you
don't
remember
know.
the last time you talked with, which was, to be fair, a couple weeks ago, when you last talked to Roger Silvermoon, he seemed a little against the idea of interrogations. Maybe perhaps they handled him a little roughly the first time.
So it's like Jose with like the ship. Like he's like, fuck that noise. I'm gonna sleep on the deck with my eyes open.
Mm-hmm.
So
we need to make a not an interrogation, but a room.
Make him comfortable.
What if we rent a room and then try to convince him to come down to meet us? In the
I
room?
mean, we could just drink
alright,
with
let's
him.
go for it.
You could drink with him, make him comfortable.
That's a good idea.
Last time he came down, he just started.
Alright, let's go. Let's go to the Angel's Breath and let's go get a room.
All right. So the four of you, I'm not forgetting Lady Lionhardt this time. The four of you head over to Angel's Breath. It takes about 20 minutes.
We forgot her last time?
You
Oh,
kept
fuck.
forgetting.
I forgot to mention her. But yeah, she is with you guys. So Lady Lionhardt
What
and
up, Lady Lionhardt?
the rest of the party in tow. You guys head on over. It takes about 20. You guys have been walking this path over. You pretty much know it by heart now.
Yeah, like we just walked back and forth 3 times. If we got lost again, it would be really weird.
So you guys do make your way to the Angel's Breath, and you guys make your way over and find a very posh building amongst the more rugged, hardened buildings, which stands out amongst the crowd. Walking in through the front door, and you're greeted by Ryther again, who stands there unnervingly. Yes, hello, welcome back. Now, may I interest you in a room, my
Oh,
visitors?
I'm gonna let Alex stay still on this one because I tend to talk too much.
I mean, we did kind of like say we agreed on a room, so
Okay.
Well, I do talk too much.
Well, I just say okay.
Okay.
So you say okay to Ryther?
Yeah.
So-
we would like to have a room.
Ryther quickly writes in his pad of attendees, "Oh, right this way," and kind of gestures you guys towards the door, set of doors at this end of the corridor, and he kind of like hobbles over.
Are there any other doors like there in the corner, or is it just that?
No, so it's you enter, the front desk is immediately in front of you, right? To your right is like a bit of a hallway that leads to the double doors that leads into the main area. Can you picture that?
Hi.
Say the description again.
So as you enter the Angel's Breath, if you enter through the doors, immediately you'll see the front desk with Ryther behind it.
Okay.
To your left will be like just a wall. To your right will be a little bit of a corridor that leads into double doors that leads into the main area.
Okay. I see. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
And
So
again,
the-
so the windows of this area, they're like stained glass to the color of a purple color, so whatever light filters in through makes the whole area seem like a bit purpley.
Okay. I could. Yeah. Okay. I see it.
So he hobbles on over to the other end of the short narrow corridor and kind of like gestures you guys in.
You're welcome.
Alright, so you guys walk in, and again, despite there being a murder or linkages of murders in this place, you guys walk into the main area, and there is like a ton of people here. Several, middle-aged men and some older-looking fellows, and there's like several females who are kind of like risque kind of outfit. All of them, several drinks. You see several like servers walking around. It seems like a relatively lively place. Laughter being had, talks. You see the air is little bit hazy. And you notice Blyatov, that same like vase like tall structure in the middle of gaggles of people essentially. And right there, right this way, and he kind of like leads you guys off into a side room, similar to, not the same one that you were in, Blyatov, but like maybe a room or two away. Kind of gestures you guys inside the room.
Okay.
So you guys head on over, and as you guys enter a relatively small room, but there's like several pillows on the ground, and there's that like glass kind of like a vase thingy in the center with several like pipes coming out of it essentially, and yeah, kind of ushers you guys in, and the room is before you now.
Oh, we're in there.
Yes.
Yeah.
So as you guys take the room and sit yourselves amongst the thing in the middle, Ryther looks like, what can I start you all with? A drink, perhaps? Would you like to use the device in the center of the room?
Your call. We could do whatever the hell we want here.
My call. Get what you want then.
Alright, so... Can you repeat to me what that device is you said? I heard of a device.
Well, it's one of our services here. For a small price you may use it. It uses several I don't know how hookah works, guys. I don't know how hookah works. So
You're only getting a 3-star on Rate My DM.
So if you take a step back, what's in front of you guys is a hookah pipe, essentially.
Oh, it's a hookah pipe?
Yeah.
I could probably make it work.
I don't know how it works, guys.
Alright, time to work some magic. I go to that device.
Sure.
About to like puff some smoke, mind you?
You try to, but it's currently not active.
There's nothing inside, it's empty.
Alright, so I'm gonna see if there's any liquid or fucking...
There is, but it's not working as of right now.
Alright, time to find a power supply.
There is none.
Yo.
Do your outlets?
If you would like to use it, please do inform me.
I want to use it.
What flavor would you all like?
What
And
the
he
hell?
clasped his
There's
hands together.
flavors? There's flavors? Oh man, back in my area, there's like no such thing as flavors. We just have this bland wooden, like, taste in our mouths. Yo, what flavors do you have?
Well, he goes to like a list of flavors ranging from like, to more like fruity, like strawberry, watermelon, to like a more watermelon, to more like, like vanilla, that kind of stuff.
Get that watermelon.
I'll be right back. And he exits the room, closes the door behind him, and it shuts. Behind the door, you guys hear like muffled, like laughing, talking, and relatively lively space adjacent to you guys in the main room, essentially. You guys the four of you are in this room, around like on pillows, and in front of you guys is a hookah pipe.
Yo, guys, get comfortable.
Lionhardt looks at the group. It's kind of difficult knowing that,
Yeah, so
Listen, if Silvermoon sees us being comfortable and not sees us comfortable, he'll get comfortable. More of like a chain reaction, if you will. He'll think that we're
well,
not
we also
gonna
need to
interrogate
think of a way to bring him in.
Oh yeah, that's true. Tell him we buy him shots.
So a moment passes, and eventually Ryther comes back with like a bed, like a basket of coals essentially, and he has like a container of sorts Before you guys, he sets up the device in front of you guys, setting the coals onto a certain location and pouring this container of liquids into a certain portion of the device, and eventually it comes to life. And after a while of stoking the coals, he takes one of the pipes and takes one pull of it, and he exhales a bit of smoke, and he kind of cough a bit. It is ready. So, if you will,
Okay.
is there anything else I can help you all with? Perhaps
Okay,
a
out of
drink,
Or
maybe?
funny somewhere in the
Okay,
middle.
out of character. That is
Yes.
the most ancient way of powering up a fucking hookah pipe right there. Motherfucker had to burn coal and shit.
It is done.
Isn't that how real hookah works?
Huh?
Isn't that how real hookah works with coals and shit?
Yeah.
Leon knows how it works.
I know, right?
Fake Nation.
Gotta hit him
But,
back.
Yeah.
Wikipedia real quick.
Alright, I will puff. I don't know what you guys are gonna do.
You
I
need a
ask,
roleplay club scene, which you've never been in a club, so use your engineering studies to understand fucking hookah fluid dynamics.
I ask right there, if Vajra Solomon can come in
Vajra
for a
Silvermoon.
little break. A little
Go ahead and
break.
roll a persuasion check.
Oh boy.
A 10. Vajra Silvermoon already. You requested his presence earlier. He already said no, unfortunately.
Hey, we'll buy him drinks, you know.
He looks at you, Arithemaya. Unfortunately, Vajra Silvermoon has a bit of an expensive taste when it comes to beverages.
Define expensive.
Yeah, you cheap ass.
Define expensive.
Define
He
expensive.
prefers the more expensive things that we have on tap, ranging from 50 to perhaps 100 gold.
Oh shit.
I look at my wallet. I'm like,
Moth flies out of his wallet.
The gold coins in your pouch will look at you, Kenny. They're like, I don't feel so good, Arithemaya.
Oh god, no.
I don't feel so.
I don't feel so good, Arithemaya.
Mr. Stark. I mean, Mr. Arithemaya, I don't feel so good.
My wallet turns to that.
That-
No, we can't spoil the movie. I forgot.
For
For our
sorry.
two
who?
viewers,
No one
for our
listening.
2 viewers, we can't spoil the movie.
They're not listening.
Shh.
Alright, so what would you like to do to the party? You ask Blyatov for Vajra Silvermoon's presence, but unfortunately, with a 10, Mr. Ryther doesn't seem too swayed to call to ask his boss.
Come on,
Yeah, but
please.
before it was more of a just questioning. This is more just to hang out, you know.
Can I ensure that you'll buy one of the more expensive beverages we have on tap? Perhaps that would help in persuading him to come out here.
I try to show off what little chest I have, and I whisper to these guys, "Yo, we're gonna pull in the money for the drink." Yeah, please. We just want to relax.
So, for one bottle of Dragon's Tooth Ale, that would be 100 gold pieces. And he puts his
cough out
hands
the
out.
money. Guys, how are we gonna split this?
By the way, 100 gold for ale, that's pricey, guys.
I know, right?
That's really pricey, by the way.
I know, for real. Like, what the fuck?
So, do you guys cough up the coin for a bottle of Dragon's Tooth Ale?
Wait, this is ale, right? Yeah, that should be imported. That should be
appears to be
imported
fancy
from.
ale,
vegan,
yeah.
though.
That's just imported as fuck.
I'll cough up the gold.
50 gold from, so go ahead, minus 50 gold. You guys are still 50 gold short.
I'll cough up all of it.
All of it? 100 gold?
Yeah.
I will bring your bottle shortly, and perhaps I may sway Mr. Silvermoon to accompany you all. And Mr. Ryther kind of does a little bit of curtsy, closes the door behind him, and again you guys hear the muffled talking and laughing behind the door, and you guys hear like footsteps moving away from you guys.
That's so embarrassing. I never do that to my chest ever again.
Well, how much
Chest
gold
I
do you even have?
Huh?
How much gold do you even have?
Absolutely 4.
What?
Four-
Absolutely
gold
for
pieces.
who?
Four gold.
pieces. Well, I do have the platinum still. I still have
So,
the platinum you guys gave me. So.
A moment passes, and Ryther eventually comes back with a silver plate, one bottle, kind of like a darkened bottle, and what appears to be four fancy-looking drinking glasses. The ones that have like long stem necks and kind of like a wide brim around it. Sets the plate of drinks next to the hookah pipe, essentially. One moment, please, and exits the scene like once again. So you guys are left with a bottle of Dragon's Tooth Ale with 4 fancy-looking drinking glasses.
All right, guys. A drink so that way he can actually see that we're actually drinking. You still have to drink on the job.
No drink.
Fuck it, I'm pouring the fucking drinks.
Alright, so Arithemaya pours herself a drink.
I'm pouring everyone this drinks.
What happened,
I'm
Blyatov?
pouring.
I'm taking a drink as well.
Okay, so Blyatov, you do the same.
I chug that shit.
You give me a Constitution check.
Constitution save?
Both Constitution save. Yeah. Both of you.
No,
20...
he didn't drink. He didn't. No, Leotov didn't drink.
No, he did.
He did.
9 and 20. Blyatov, you take a drink of both of you drink, and Constitution save Arithemaya 20. You take the drink, Arithemaya, and it doesn't really affect you. It almost seemed like you drank like glorified fizzy water. It seems, but Blyatov, you take a drink and you take a drink of this Dragon's Tooth Ale, and it hits you almost immediately. You feel as soon as the liquor like hits the back of your throat and goes down, you feel a little like a slight a little woozy, I guess. Just a little though, just a touch.
Hey, Leon.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna roll a Constitution save just so I can see, but I did not take a drink. Okay?
Sure.
I just want to see what happened.
15.
Sorry.
Drink.
So,
drink.
Arithemaya, you take that fancy glass worth of Dragon's Tooth Ale. You don't feel much. Blyatov, you feel like a slight tinge. Lady Lionhardt just sits there, kind of quietly and observing.
Come on, Lionheart, take a drink.
Eventually, let's see.
Yo, I'm peer pressuring Lionheart to drink.
Eventually, though, you guys hear the set of 2 footsteps approaching the door, and Ryther opens the door, and you see.
Nibiru.
Yes.
It's Nibiru.
And you guys see Nibiru adjacent
the
Ryther.
priest will go to the fucking bar.
You guys see a Vadre Silvermoon, currently decked out in very lavish clothing, and his hair kind of tied up. His I believe he has silver hair.
Well, hello, beautiful.
Second.
What the fuck, Kenny? Are you flirting?
No. We're having a good time.
Vadre
bruh.
Silvermoon.
As I puff the fucking hook.
I think you guys haven't all met him, right? Only Blyatov?
No, we all have.
We all did,
Okay.
yeah.
So you guys see a familiar Vadre Silvermoon wearing long, fine clothing, very nice, lavish clothing, and you guys notice that amethyst hanging from his neck. Long silver hair and light gray eyes. As he enters the room, takes a seat next to you guys and pours himself a drink, starts drinking it, and Ryther closes the door behind him. Vadre Silvermoon. Ah, yes, Dragon Tooth Ale. I never turned down a glass of this. And he starts like chugging.
Oh, I told you guys he's type to drink it.
So, and you see him. Looks by the time he begins, he has a glass and he's beginning to pour himself a second glass. So, what can I do for my humble benefactors?
I look at Blyatov and look at his condition. Are you okay?
You notice that Blyatov has a light tinge or like a light bit of like blushing coming from his cheeks.
You
But
got that Asian glow.
He's fucking drunk.
I'm not drunk.
Alright, what do you want to talk to him about?
I'm not drunk.
he says it again.
Can you speak to him directly?
I'm not drunk.
I look at Roger Silver Point. I'm not drunk.
It appears
Magnus.
your friend has. Is this your first time drinking Dragon's Tooth Ale?
Apparently he's weak.
I look at Arithemaya. I am not drunk.
Luke said Nibiru, who's not even there. I am not drunk.
Magnus, would you like to speak on our behalf?
I'm not drunk either.
I know you're not drunk.
At this point, you guys see freaking Lady Lionhardt just apply her face to her like forehead, just
Apply her face to her forehead.
apply her hand to her forehead. Sorry.
You
Her-
Wait, what?
She
Head
like
on,
she
a
like
directed
lays her
forehead.
hand flat on her forehead, like
She face palms.
face palms. Yeah.
Yeah, Lionheart. I hope you could save us from here.
Lady Lionhardt looks at Vajra Silvermoon. Sir Silvermoon, if you don't mind, we of course enjoy your company, Mr. Silvermoon, but we have a few things to ask of you. Her gaze kind of shifts to Blyatov.
Can I like
What?
yo can you do another constitution saving throw to see if he could like sober up instantaneous?
Can we help coach him to like get sober?
Yo, Blyatov, hit that constitution saving throw, let's go.
22.
Oh, he is
Bly-
definitely not drunk.
Blyatov, you can feel that bit of that slight wooziness begin to slightly. It's like still there, but not as big of a problem. Perhaps maybe you should try not drinking Drangsuthe a little too much too fast, perhaps.
Weak ass bitch.
Okay, that's my. I am not drunk.
Natural 20, Constitution save from Mr. Blyatov.
You're welcome.
Alright, time to ask them questions, boy.
I look at Can you stop? Oh, it was annoying, but I look at Roger Stillman and ask,
Okay.
so when do you normally close?
He
This
glows
place.
whenever, and you see him. He's a little bit aloof right now, and you can see that similar like redness in his cheek, just slight though. And you see him kind of like raise his drink up into the air, and his drink kind of like sloshes inside. We close whenever we damn feel like it. And you see him
My
kind of
dude knows how to
like laugh a
party.
bit. And it takes another swig and begins pouring out another. If you don't mind me having more of this, it is delightful, by the way.
I'm well aware.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
would you? And he kind of
definitely.
like points the bottles and towards you, bleeds up. Would you like more?
Of course. Pour me
And
one.
he pours you out some, and pours himself out one.
I look at Blyatov like, bruh.
I am not drunk.
So so Mr. Silvermoon takes another swig of his drink.
Well, I'm gonna pour myself a glass.
Sure, Mr. Silvermoon hands you the bottle of Dragon Tooth's ale.
I asked him,
I am not chugging it though.
I asked him about the front desk worker. He's been here a while.
Front desk attendant? Are you
Yeah.
talking about? 1 second. Oh crap! I had his
He's
name.
so drunk. He's so drunk
Ryder?
he can't remember his name.
Either?
Are you talking about Ralph? Oh, that young boy. He has his whole life ahead of him, and yet he's working here at Angel's Breath.
Young boy.
Poor boy.
I was actually talking about the other one, the old one.
Who? Oh, right. You're talking about what's his name? And you see him kind of like snapping his fingers with his drink in hand.
Ryder.
Ryder. Yeah. Of course, Ryder.
Read it.
What about Ryder?
Oh.
He's a bit of a strange character, but he makes for a great front desk attendant, don't you think?
Has he been here for a long time, or?
Oh, he's been with me for, and he's thinking. You see him. He's a little sloshed right now, so his eyes are like kind of like wobbly. To be honest with you, I've kind of forgotten. Ryder's been with me for a while now, though.
Well, would you happen to know about someone, Elvin, some kind of brown
Elvin.
hair, gray eyes, something like that?
Takes a moment to think as he's holding his drink, and it's kind of unbalanced, so you see like the liquid sloshing inside of it. Elvin, brown hair, doesn't really ring a bell. Is
Right, okay.
is there a reason why you're asking this?
Can I do an insight check on that?
Go ahead. 3.
He's so.
He's
Let me-
very, very clearly sloshed. That's all you know.
Let me do it.
Let's see. 7. Very clear.
What?
21. Arithemaya, you notice with your 21 insight, your keen eyes, you close in and you study his movements, his behaviors, and with a 21, you glean that he is sloshed.
Of course, he's hammered.
Is there a reason why you ask me about this individual? And you see, as he's drinking more, his movements become a little bit less calculated. And you can see the drink just sloshing. Some of it is now like jumping out of the glass that he's holding.
It was just someone that I heard.
Oh,
was,
right, of course.
Around town.
In fact, he kind of owes us money.
Oh, he owes you money. I've had patrons like that who owed me money as well, and they're no longer with us, which is unfortunate.
Hmm?
Right.
Patrons are those.
Oh, you know those people who...
They've moved on to greener pastures.
I believe the one who worked here that I believe I mentioned him in the past. It's a dwarven one, the guy, the one who died, who was murdered brutally. You know him, right? Of course you know him.
You owed money?
Right? Yes, of course.
What about the other ones that were murdered?
Let's see. The other ones, I honestly don't remember. Which ones are the other ones?
There was the fighter, Pengali.
Oh, Pengali, right. That one, I believe, I'm not sure if he owed me money. Maybe he did.
And then there was the Corin Bailey girl.
No. Doesn't ring a bell. And you see him take another drink.
So, where'd you get that necklace from?
This necklace? I believe someone gave it to me, or maybe I bought it. I honestly don't remember.
It is a very fine piece.
Oh, thank you.
Does it remind you of anyone?
Say that again?
Does it remind you of anyone? Or
Is it like
a
a
special
token?
meaning?
Not really, not at the moment.
Insight check.
Bruh, we all know the outcome.
With your 11, with your 15, Magnus, with your 8, 11, 15, 8, you guys notice that the words that are
Yes,
coming out of this
fucking
guy is coming out very sloppily. This guy's...
Hammered as
Yes.
fuck.
Sucking dicks.
Does the amulet remind me of anyone? I don't know, maybe my wife? Is that like... Not sure. And at this point, he's pouring himself another drink. You guys notice through the murky glass of the bottle. You guys are about like halfway through this thing.
It's all him. Oh boy.
Yeah. So what would you guys like to do? Or rather, what would you like to ask?
Crap, we haven't got this far.
You guys got him, so ask away.
We did an insight check on you.
Oh, wait, hold on. What about his relationship with Corin Bailey?
Corin Bailey.
Bro, can't ask about that.
Corin Bailey. I don't know of a Corin Bailey.
Oh, so you don't know a woman who was rumored to have some sort of relationship?
Bro.
'Cause apparent-
Corin Bailey doesn't ring a bell. Is that an insight check? Fresh one?
Yeah.
21. Through his like drunken words, you know this one is most definitely a lie. With
Told
a
you.
natural 20.
Say something, Ali.
No, I'm saying we asked him last time and then he got super defensive. I'm just.
Yeah, now he's super hammered.
This one is most definitely a lie. You can see him
I
as
don't
he
do it.
says that he doesn't have any relationship or doesn't know of Corin Bailey. You see his eyes get a little shifty. And
Oh, so I guess
he's
you
like
weren't,
averting your gazes.
You weren't aware of her funeral.
A funeral? Who are we speaking of again?
It's Lady Bailey, Corin.
It doesn't ring a bell,
Blonde-haired.
unfortunately. Did she come to this club, perhaps? As I've never met her.
You know, you are amazing at lying.
Oh, me lying.
This
I'm not lying.
motherfucker.
I wouldn't lie to my
Yeah.
benefactors who gave me this, and he's kind of like waving the glass in front of him, the liquid sloshing inside.
Ooh, the mood turned sour. Who wants a puff of this fantastic flavor? Watermelon. right
Don't
here.
mind me. And he takes it from you and takes a pull and exhales a puff of cloud. 420. Yo, last time we aired this, it was 420.
Yo.
It was
It's
420.
been
That was
almost a full
literally a
month.
month ago. Yeah.
And we brought it back.
It was 420.
I feel like this whole investigation is a 420 reference.
Watermelon. That's a good choice, by the way. Very good choice.
Why, thank you.
Watermelon.
Instead of
God,
Now, is
this
there any other questions I can answer for my generous benefactors of this Dragon Tooth ale? And you can see him kind of like wave the glass in front of him as the liquid sloshes.
Have you ever had to close early for some reason?
Oh, it's difficult to remember. To be honest, I personally want to close whenever my damn fill. Please. Eddie lets out a bit of a burp. Excuse me.
Oh, so you just let out a burp?
Yeah.
Oh,
This
okay.
guy's very clearly like, he went in here to have a good time. And he's having a good time. Yeah.
We gave it to him. Alright, let me hit this pipe.
Sure.
And I can't do an insight check on what he just said about the closing.
Sure, go ahead. 14. You can tell that he seems relatively genuine. This guy seems like he likes to party. So his statement that he likes to close whenever damn well pleases seems pretty in line with what he's showing right now.
Oh,
Yo, this is the episode of Insight Checks. Jeez.
and
I don't know what to ask. I don't want to piss him off, but I want him to like
Just
give us
ask him.
information.
just ask.
He seems to be in a relatively good mood right now, so
Dude, he's hammered as fuck.
Alright, so then, well, we know you're the talk of the town, and you have your fingers in many pies, and we know
Right.
you'd never be,
Oh boy.
you'd never get involved in illicit affairs.
Oh, me? No, not at all, no.
But we're sure you're knowledgeable of people's mistakes
Mistakes.
and their affairs to make sure that your employees and Angel's Breath is never under scrutiny.
What the fuck is this guy saying?
So what exactly are you asking me, Mr. Dragonborn?
Oh my god, he's gonna fist us
I don't
off.
know what I'm asking.
I don't know what you're asking.
I didn't have a question in mind, actually.
I assure you,
I fucked
Mr.
up.
Dragonborn, we run a clean operation here. Well, relatively speaking, of course.
Oh, what do you mean by relatively speaking? Raises eyebrows.
Well, you know, we
Kinda
serve
curious.
drinks here, and we serve female companionship. If
Female
in some
companionship?
people's eye that's a bit risque per se, but other than that, relatively clean business, if you ask me.
How, in terms of that female companionship, ordeal, how much are we talking about here?
Well, it depends on who you want.
What's your
And
highest
you,
bid?
he like pinches your cheek, Arithemaya. I didn't know
What if
you
we're
were
looking
so
for
naughty,
male
little one.
companionship?
Male companionship? That's a good idea, perhaps. You see him rub his cheek.
Because I have a thing for, brown-haired elvish boys.
That is a bit strange, Mr. Dragonborn.
Hey, man, don't knock it till you try
However-
it.
In Arithemaya's head, this nigga gay.
Don't take
But
shame.
if there's a market for it and if there's money to be made, I'll definitely consider it, Mr. Dragonborn.
Well, I could offer you some coinage now for some names, possibly. Maybe one's discreetly working within this establishment.
Discreetly, I assure you, Mr. Dragonborn, we run, again, a relatively clean operation here. No one's working under the table. I hope not, at least.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Wait, hey, good pun.
And you see him pour another drink out of the bottle. As he's doing, he's actually taking a sip of the hookah. he's like dual wielding right now.
He's double fisting.
Yeah, double fisting.
Bruh.
Oh, this is absolutely fabulous, by the way.
Oh damn, you're right. And I take the pipe from
For sure. You do
I
so.
look at Lady Lionhardt. Anything you have to add?
him. What, dude?
Lady Lionheart?
Lady Lionhardt at this moment, she's like, her eyebrows are raised, just like watching. So to keep this in perspective, she is like an acolyte of the Temple of Tyr, essentially. She's like completely out of her element right now.
She is gone to the dark side. She's gone to the dark side.
As everyone notices, Lady Lionhardt, Silver Moon also takes notice. What's the matter with your female friend over here? Cat got her tongue by any chance?
No. It's just that what's the word for today?
She's a designated horse carriage driver.
No, not that. It's that time of the month, you know.
Oh, well, if it is, then please, I do not want to hear that.
He's like, bro, gross.
And she's kind of moody, you know. She just.
Well, and he takes another pull of the hookah and exhales like this cloud of
Vacation.
you know. And is there anything else I may answer to my kind benefactors of this momentous event that we have in front of us?
Well.
And just silence in the room as Silvermoon is quite clearly enjoying himself.
Oh, I'm still smoking. Here, just on a side note, Arithemaya is not gonna die from like.
All right,
any
out
NPC.
of character. Like, can I speak out of character, Leon, or no?
Sure.
You've been doing it so many times until now.
Sure. I
Like,
guess.
Just saying.
If you're asking me
Arithemaya's
some
not-
questions to proceed, I'm not gonna give it to you. I'll just let you know that.
Yo, just saying. Arithemaya's
No,
gonna die from lung cancer.
Well, what do you want
It's
to ask?
for the group, because it's for the group, because I don't know what we should ask.
Go ahead.
I don't know either.
I mean, I did
Well,
mention.
our goal was to discern some proof that he's involved or he knows stuff.
Some proof of something.
So how do we get him to give us proof?
I don't know.
We got.
If I knew that, I would have done it.
What do you think would give us proof?
I don't know. If I knew that, I would have done it.
Not. What do you not know?
What do you not tell me everything?
Tell me what you don't know.
We know that the dude, the front desk dude, was lying. Or he's just lying about stuff.
We know that this guy's lying. How do we prove it?
How do we prove that he's lying?
How do we get him?
Yo, just burn the entire city down. You can't have a killer within the city of Wiham if there is no city of Wiham.
Cap's forehead.
I mean, we could do that.
Yo, this is the U.S. nukes.
Alright, anyway, I was on a train of thought. So, what was he lying about? He was lying about
Ever meeting
affair.
Corin.
His
His,
affiliation
affair,
with
right?
Corin Bailey.
Yeah.
Ever meeting Corin. He's like, who that? New
New
phone.
noise.
ask him about the so whatever he says, even if it's a lie, it's never gonna the truth is never gonna come out of it. Right?
You
If we
could
could
attempt
do
to
insight.
coerce him.
Can we
You can
use
try.
persuasion
You can
checks?
try. You can always try. If you can think of it, you
You
can
can
try.
try to persuade him, but how are you going to persuade him?
I don't know.
Oh wait, what if? Okay.
That's the part where I get
I
stuck.
think I might.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
So take a
Alright,
moment to sit
do
in
it.
your what would your characters in your character's shoes? What would they do to coerce more information?
Well, I'm in.
And I wish I was in your guys' shoes. I love role playing.
I'm in debauchery mode, so.
Yeah, Kenny, you've literally done nothing. You literally do nothing, Kenny.
Hey, listen.
You called me gay?
I'm the one who's trying to like.
Yeah, you're the
Feel
one
the
who's
mood
trying to take sips of drink and take a.
You're trying to fuck, alright?
You're literally doing nothing. Kenny.
You trying to get that elf penis.
Hey, listen. I mentioned Corin Bailey, and we got through his lie. Okay.
Alright, never mind. Let's not fight. Alright.
So,
Why don't you do some persuasion?
Who, me?
So I would
Yeah.
say before we continue, I would say
Persuade
you guys have taken maybe like 20 minutes to do all this stuff. So maybe I think 20 is fair. So go ahead, continue.
Maybe persuade him that you would like a similar arrangement with him as was with Miss Bailey.
Oh.
I don't know. He's really persistent about never meeting with that chick.
That's the whole point of persuasion, dude, or deception. And we already incited that he's lying.
That's true. Well,
So
Blyatov did, not us.
Blyatov did his like, yo, bro, he's lying face at us.
Alright, we're gonna have to consult with Lionheart here.
What do you mean consult with Lionheart?
At this
Just
point,
do it,
like
guys.
Lady Lionhardt has like, her face says it all. She's like retreated from the scenario essentially.
Oh no.
Lady Lionheart gotta stick up her ass. Come on.
No,
Kenny,
we're gonna drag her.
Kenny.
I just have the
Look,
best
I
idea.
promise you, your masculinity will not be threatened.
No. It's not that. It's not that. It's not that. I
promise you, it's not gay because they're all fictional characters.
Kenny doesn't care. He's already.
No. Here's the thing. I think I had a better idea than that. But we're
So
gonna drag
let's
Lionheart
put that in
to
play.
this. We're gonna drag Lionheart into this.
No, we're not. No, we're not gonna drag Lionheart.
Alright,
And
fine.
I think I know your plan, and it's gonna backfire.
Yeah, it's gonna backfire if you do it with Lady Lionheart. Just do it with you and whoever else is here.
God damn it. Whatever.
Oh, if you want to do it, I'm up for it. I don't care anymore.
Just do it. We've been sitting investigating for 2 hours. Just fucking do it.
It feels like we keep just running into a wall again.
Yeah, it's like it's a labyrinth with like no exit.
Guys, just persuade. Do the persuasion. Do the thing.
Do the thing. The
Do
thing.
what?
The thing.
Do the thing.
Literally, they're like, do the thing. What thing? I don't know the thing. No one knows what the thing is.
Make a thing up.
The thing.
Ah,
It goes,
luck. Okay.
Alright, so what do you guys do?
Alright, let me see what
I ask him how the thing goes.
Oh,
So to reel you guys back into the scene, you guys are in this room alone with Mr. Silvermoon. He's having a grand old time. Lady Lionheart's not having a grand old time. You guys are
having a
having
grand new time.
you know, there's a hookah pipe, there's some pillows on the ground, you know, there's a window, stained glass purple. I would say it's a little darkly lit, so maybe there'd be like one like little lantern, perhaps a candle. There's definitely probably candles in here. Yeah, that's about it. So,
Alright, so here's what this is gonna be sent. Okay, but I walk up to Silvermoon.
walk up. You guys are currently sitting on the floor.
No, I
She
get up and walk up
moves over
to.
towards
I
him.
thought you
go towards
were
him.
you're probably sitting adjacent to him anyway. So
Am I?
She's
I'm pretty
she's
sure.
even closer into his
He
personal
gave you the
bubble.
bottle, so yeah.
No. What? Does he still have his glass?
yes, most
Bro,
definitely.
let's not get technical with it. He gets.
Does
in
he have liquid? Does it have the drink in it?
Probably.
Does he have liquid? in
Alright,
his glass?
cause I'm about to like take the glass from him,
Okay, sure.
drink it,
Okay.
and give it back to him, and just look into and just like go to his ear and just whisper about
Gay.
telling him how to get a good
Yo,
time.
it's okay. It's okay. It's not gay.
Gay.
Chill out, boys. Chill out.
You called me gay?
Alright, so you do so. Go ahead and roll persuasion with disadvantage.
Why? My dad
Dude,
ugly?
you're like 16
Yes,
years old,
you
bro.
have half a head of hair.
Wait, what?
Bro, you're
wait.
like you're like 16 years old.
50%.
Bro, no. That's in my story. That's when I was evolving. Now I'm like 17 3/4.
So
or something.
I am 17 and 4/3.
You know who uses that argument? 8-year-olds when they're trying to get a 10-year-old birthday present.
You're essentially like this guy is an elf, so he's like a couple hundreds of years old. You're like 4 years old to him.
Maybe I'm into older
Yo.
men. I don't give a shit.
Bruh. That's not weird. Alright, let's go. Come on.
Go roll
Hey,
persuasion
I
with
swear to God, this fast
Roll
is through.
disadvantage. Disadvantage.
3. You better roll the 2.
Wait,
So-
with disadvantage.
Yeah,
it's
3.
lower. It's always lower.
So
Yeah.
you do so. You take the drink out of him, try to seduce him, but he looks at you and he watches you do this whole thing, and all you see is like a eyebrow just slowly rise. Just,
I assist
Oh, not
in the worst way possible.
oh, not sexy enough. Okay.
if you don't mind, I'll be requiring. And he actually takes a fresh new glass from the because there's only 3 that was being used. There's one more fresh glass. He takes that one, pours another drink.
Oh, I knew I was ugly.
If you wanted my glass, you might as well just ask. And he's kind of like waving his new drink around again, the liquid sloshing in it.
Alright.
Well, that failed, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah, okay, so now let's persuade him. Alright. So, I push him a little bit further about this Corn Bailey girl. Right?
Sure, what do you say? What do you say? How do you do this?
Uh,
Oh, 19. That's pretty good, though.
I'm gonna say, look, sir. I'm interested in some companionship, and I heard you were with one of the finest women. And you may not
I believe we've...
say
Mr.
anything
Dragonborn,
out loud. It's fine. It's discreet.
I believe we've
You
had
know-
this conversation before, Mr. Dragonborn, haven't we?
I don't remember. I was a little drunk.
Hmm.
I'm not drunk.
So, what are you asking of me, Mr. Dragonborn?
Can you tell the time?
What exactly
He
are
wants
you
one of your
asking
hot
of me?
bitches.
Because this Cord Bailey person, I don't know of her, unfortunately.
You know what the persuasion, dude?
19 is pretty good, but he seems pretty staunch on his position.
I mean,
Alright, well, if you
I
don't
tell
know...
him that the family in Corin Bailey seems to know you quite well, though.
What makes you say that?
I don't know. When I mentioned your name, the entire family looked at me in disgust for some reason.
Ooh, go ahead and hit me with that deception check, sir.
Bro, that was lit.
13.
ah,
It was a good try, but no, really. Her entire family, she only has one person that she knows of.
How do you know that?
how do you
Oh.
know that?
Got him.
How do you know that? Yo, I hit him with that. How do you know that?
Well, unfortunately, I heard some rumors through the grapevine. Isn't she the
Then
one that
why'd
died
you
of that
deny knowing her?
grisly?
Then why'd you deny knowing her?
Isn't she the one that died that grisly death about 2-3 weeks ago? That's all I know of her, really, unfortunately. And you see him kind of waving the drink around again. It's sloshing all over the place.
Seems like you know a little bit more than that.
Was that Mickey Mouse voice?
More.
You know a little bit more about that, Mickey. Alright, so it seems he's slipped a little bit of information that he didn't really want to let slip.
God.
But it appears as though he's trying to backpedal now. What do you guys do?
We never got this far.
Yeah. Well, there were a lot of rumors about an affair between you and Corin Bailey.
I don't even know this person. That's rumors
You
are
keep denying
rumors.
that, yeah, you just told us you knew her as one of the victims.
All I said was that she only had one family member, according to the rumors that I've heard, of course.
Question for you. You know
Please.
well, it's not more of a question, more like, is it a yes or no? Knowing that side business that you have, that of which we should not speak of?
What side business? I run a clean operation here.
Inside check.
Of course.
Inside check.
Go ahead.
Inside check. Inside check.
3, 17, 15. With a 17 from Arithemaya and a 15 from Magnus, you guys notice that he seems pretty genuine about his statement that he runs relatively clean operation here in the
This
Angel's Breath.
motherfucker said female companionship.
But yeah, the only thing that might be not clean according to the, from the views of others is female companionship, which he thinks is still legit. That's about it.
Oh, but he doesn't run it though, according to him.
So how about this musician then?
Musician.
How do you hire these talents?
Oh, you're talking about Rainison, aren't you?
Yeah.
Rainison, he was a patron here, came up to me and offered his services. As simple as that.
He never tried to borrow any money from you.
Well, he did.
You just accept anyone that offers you services?
Well, he wanted a loan, I wanted his services.
Gay. I'm kidding.
This is the episode of gay.
Episode of
Very
gay.
simple, very simple business deal. He wanted to work for me and I wanted his service. and he may or may not wanted a bit of extra money from me. Who am I to deny him that? I'd hope he would pay me, but unfortunately, he was brutally murdered.
Hey, so were you into these arena fights at all?
Arena fights?
Yeah.
What about these arena fights?
I heard these are the talk of the town when the champion.
Oh, right, you mean that... What's that brute's name? Lash, isn't it?
Yeah.
And what about him?
I heard that the Angel's Breath was bankrolling a fighter of its own. And I roll with inspiration.
Natural 20. Is there? I'm not quite aware. Wow, no one ever told me of this information.
What? Insight check.
You may try.
Insight check.
The first one.
13.
Oh,
He seems genuinely...
Oh.
Natural 20. He seems genuinely not knowledgeable of this.
God damn it. The one time I rolled
I-
that
I-
20, this
if-
motherfucker's genuine.
If we were bankrolling a fight out of the Angel's Breast, I hope it's not coming out of my pocket, if you know what I mean. And he takes a sip of his newly acquired glass of Dragon's Tooth Ale.
Alright, out of character, like, I really am not sure of the motive behind these films. And I'm hoping that we can draw something, but
I want to ask how much of a tight leash he keeps on his employees.
how much of a tight leash do you keep on your employees?
A tight leash? Me? I'm not much of a tight leash kind of person. People come here, they do a good job, and I give them pay. That's how I see it.
So you pretty much let them free roam, essentially.
I'm an employer, not a slaver.
But aren't you curious to
Curious
see
about?
the behavior of your employees when you're
Not
not
really.
around?
Whatever they do in their spare time is their spare. It's not my business. I'll tell
But
you what is
let's
my
say-
business though. This liquor right here. And he,
Let's say they were using your business as a location to do business themselves in a not so clean way.
that would be unfortunate for me, but I do not know of anything like that. And if you do,
Insight check.
Insight check.
go ahead.
Oh, let's
Two
go.
natural
Oh my
20s.
God. Bro, he better.
Two natural
He better
20s.
be
Again,
lying.
he seems pretty genuine about not knowing.
Motherfucker.
And he
I give up. I give
and
up.
again, he says, and if you do know of anyone running anything under the table in my business, please let me know.
Should we
So-
guys?
Seems like
You're sure you don't know of elven male with brown hair and
To be
silver
honest,
eyes, right?
no, I do not know.
insight.
Just the inside check.
11, 21, natural 1. Again, he seems sloshed, but genuine about that one.
Alright, perfect. What about his front desk employee? Does he actually
He's
trust
separate.
it? What?
He's separate.
What do you mean separate?
He does his own thing.
Oh, so he doesn't even he trusts him then?
No, so what?
I don't think
what, what-
Silver Spoon's involved.
Silver Spoon?
Whatever the fuck his name
Silver
is.
Moon?
Silver
Silver Spoon.
I was thinking about the spoon thing.
I got you.
So, to recap, Silvermoon seems pretty genuine about his business. He seems to be running it pretty
all our
upfront.
suspects.
He
No,
seems
but
to
we
be pretty
can't get
upfront,
the front
but
desk.
he seems to be a little, what's the word? A little shifty when it comes to Corin Bailey. Other than that, he seems relatively upfront about, his business, the way he runs things. He appears to run a relatively party-like style, but it doesn't seem like there's anything malicious.
I feel like this guy's a doorstep.
I wonder what the situation was with Corn Bailey.
I really do too, but this guy's very persistent.
As you guys are talking, he pours himself another glass. If you guys don't mind, you guys don't appear to be touching the Dragon Tooth's ale. This is.
I'd take a
This is-
swig.
Oh,
You
I
take a
I
swig.
try,
Go ahead,
Yo,
roll
you-
Constitution save.
let me pull.
Hey, I am not
Again.
drunk.
Again, this time you see Blyatov. Again, you see it's not like heavy liquor. It's essentially fancy beer. But again, you feel that very very slight wooziness. If it's
Let me
like, it's like a
pour.
pretty good feeling though.
Let me pour that shit.
I drank another.
Sure. Give me another con save.
God, Rick.
Yeah, let me drink
19.
one.
Yeah. You're just now that you've known, like you've gotten a taste for this, it's you're like powering through.
Yeah, let me drink.
Through like its finals.
I want to drink that
Sure.
shit.
Give me a con save.
Hey, you got a 1911.
Yeah. So again, it's you
One
guys know
9/11.
it's fancy beer, so it's not hitting you guys super hard. It's not like
Another one.
vodka.
Another one.
Sure.
waiting
17.
for
Yeah,
Kenny
again.
to roll
Yeah,
that nat
you
one.
guys are fine. There's like a slight bit of warmth coming, but nothing too bad. At this
Yeah,
point, the
what's it-
bottle's at like maybe like a third, perhaps.
Yeah, what did DJ Khaled said? Oh yeah, another one.
Natural one.
Rip.
You attempt to take a drink and
guys.
it spills and like lands on your on yourself.
Spills on
Hey,
your.
that's 10 gold right there from you to me.
Oh fuck you.
With your natural one, you don't even get a taste of the drink. It spills on yourself.
Oh look, I'm wet.
Are you all right there?
Yeah. A bit tipsy.
Aren't you a bit too young to be drinking this?
Who said that? I am
Deception.
clearly 22 years
Deception. Deception.
Inside.
old.
I want dexterity. 17. Yeah, I mean, you know.
Why you, who you incited?
I mean, Arithemaya does look pretty young.
No, he said he's 20.
I said
Oh.
22.
Yeah, no, she's not 22.
I am clearly
She's like 14
22.
at best, dude.
Bruh.
17 and 4/3.
Alright, so what would you guys like to do now that the
So at
mood
this
in
point,
here?
you said we have a new suspect, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know what else we can do.
Is there any other questions from my oh so generous benefactors of Dragon Tooth's Ale?
I'm done.
Nothing about the necklace?
I mean, you're welcome to ask.
I'm drinking.
I don't know how to ask.
Yeah, the necklace looks similar to the one that Corin Bailey was wearing.
Who?
Corin Bailey.
Inside check.
You already know, like, this guy
Yeah.
is very clearly, definitely affiliated with Corin Bailey, but he's not letting up.
And I'm
Give him more Dragon's Ale. Dragon Tooth Ale. Rip out my
Question
own
about that,
forget
about that amulet you got on your neck.
Alright.
Who created it?
Yeah, where can I get one of those?
Created.
Yeah.
Hell if I know.
Who crafted
Bro, where can
it?
I get one of those?
To be honest,
does that mean you bought it off a merchant?
I don't remember. I trade a lot
Inside
of,
check.
I do a lot of business with a lot of hands. I'm not entirely sure, to be honest with you.
Hashtag insight.
Go ahead. Yeah, he seems pretty, with a 9, he seems pretty honest that he does do a lot of business with a lot of people. Maybe he got it through a trade with someone or bought it, who knows?
Okay.
Does he know any magic users?
Huh?
Does he know about magic? Are you familiar with any magic users?
Magic users? Here in the city of Wiham. You must be joking.
Inside
right?
check.
Inside check.
Just inside every word that he says. He seems pretty honest. He like, again, magic is prohibited in the city of Wiham, so magic is pretty rare to come by, and this one seems pretty in line with what the city has as a rule, as a law.
Do you trust your employees?
Do I trust my employees? If they do a good job, then isn't that all I need?
I wouldn't think is a.
You're not close to
quite
them?
naive.
Very close to them?
Am I
maybe?
close to them? No, as an employee, no.
But more like,
Again, I try to
outside
keep
the
things
job.
as professional as possible. I am trying to run a respectable business here. At this point, he takes another swig. You guys notice that the coals on the device in front of you is starting to wane a little bit, and you see
I got puffled up.
yeah, you guys see Mr. Silvermoon take a pull along with Arithemaya, and the coals just kind of like flare up a little bit, and exhales, and the room becomes a little bit more hazy. You guys hear Lady Lionhardt cough a little bit. Oh, I'm sorry about that,
You
darling.
gotta try it.
Cough,
You
cough,
gotta try
cough.
this shit.
Cough, cough.
Well, how did Ralphie was it?
Ralph,
Oh,
yes.
Ryder?
Ralph.
Ralph. Oh.
It's either Ralph or Ralphie.
Oh yeah.
Now, what about him?
How did he start working? Did he just walk in and ask to start
He
working?
walked in and asked.
No one knew him or anything. He just random
Well,
person.
I didn't know him personally. If he wants to work, again, if he does a good job, then I'm not privy to say no to a good worker.
Oh. So you're front desk attendant.
And what about him? My old friend Ryder.
Yeah. He's pretty punctual, right?
He is.
I don't know where I'm going with this now. Never mind.
It gives you a bit of a strange
Out
look.
of character. I want to ask him about the dates that the murders
You
happened.
can
where
always
Ryder
try.
was.
You can always try.
Alright, I asked him, those dates that crazy shit happened, incidents happened. Where was Ryder at? Because it just.
Where was what?
Ryder at?
Ryder? I don't remember. At the time, I was in the back of the club, doing, and he does like air quotes, business.
Doing butt stuff.
Inside.
Business.
You gay.
Is that yours?
Air
16?
quotes. No, that's not me.
That's.
Alright,
First one.
so 15 from Magnus. It seems you see a little bit of a smirk behind his words, and it
What
seems
the
like he's
fuck?
pretty genuine about doing quote unquote business.
Ooh.
What kind of business? Insight.
What kind of business?
I'm kind of interested.
The type of business you do behind closed doors.
Ooh, tell me.
What stuff?
I walk
I'd
out.
rather not comment on that.
I follow
We're good
Blyatov.
buddies here.
So you two leave the room.
I follow
Oh, then I go
Blyatov.
to the front desk.
So you're going back to the front desk?
Mhm.
So Arithemaya and Lady Lionhardt, you guys are left in the room. Well, that was a bit rude. They didn't even say their goodbyes.
I think one of them is about to throw up. That's why.
Oh, right, well.
That's a good cover.
If you don't have any
That's a really good cover.
If you don't have any other enthralling questions for me, I'll just take this. And he pours out another glass and takes one of the drinking glasses with him and exits the scene.
Well, I am kind of curious about that business you had. Come on.
And
let's
as
see.
you're walking, again, business behind closed doors, and he closes the door in front of you.
There goes the business.
And he does butt stuff.
Well,
with himself.
I am not giving a good review about this place.
I'm gonna hit up that Yelp.
You get
baby.
1 star on Yelp.
Alright, so Magnus and Blyatov, what are you guys doing? You
Front
guys
desk.
exit the room, and you guys are in the
Front
main
desk.
room.
Front desk attendant.
Alright, so you guys head over to Ryder, the front desk attendant. Ah, yes, my good customers. How may I? Is there something amiss? Did you not like your room?
No, it was great. I
No.
just have a
By the way,
question for you.
before I forget the tab for that'll be 10 gold pieces for the service.
Oh, the half-bald person is coming.
Out of character, motherfucker.
What would you say?
Wait,
I
no,
said
this
the
might be good bait,
half-bald
actually.
person.
This might be good bait, actually.
All right, I will go ahead and ask her about that. So, is there anything else I can? Is there any
Actually,
other
that's pretty
services?
sweet.
Perhaps a lady companion is what you're searching for.
No. I have a question for you.
Yes, of course.
One second.
6th, the 9th, and the 16th.
On the
Fucking
last
murder.
6th, where were you?
Rest is
At
6.
the night,
That was.
between
Isn't that the night?
around 2 a.m.
2 a.m.? I believe I was here at the Angel's Breath, attending the front desk as a front desk attendant should.
Alright, what about the 9th
The same
and the 16th?
thing. I was here doing my job.
Alright. Oh, tried to ask, what was his name? Sorry, I'm a little drunk. The owner of this place.
Oh, you mean Mr. Silvermoon, of course.
Yes, yes. I forgot to ask him something. Can you bring him down here really quick?
I may relay him this
Just-
question if you so choose.
Yeah, just... I want to ask him, if he gets... Where he gets his, materials from. I don't know, just something... He'll understand when you ask him, trust me.
Materials, you mean? By what materials are you?
Like the ales and whatnot.
Oh,
He'll
I can
understand
answer
what
that.
I mean when you
I
ask.
can answer that for you.
No, don't. I want to hear his answer for this.
If you will excuse me. And he kind of hobbles away from you guys and off to the side door to the main area where he vanishes for a
As he
moment.
goes through the doors, I'm looking through the records to
Oh,
find.
wow, sneaky,
pages.
sneaky. So go
To
ahead
find
and
the
run
pages on
investigation with
16.
advantage because you've seen the book before.
Better be good advantage.
24, yeah, you find the book with ease, and there it is. It lays before you.
Now, out of character,
Sure.
I have a choice. Do I rip the pages out and take them,
Try them out.
or
You tell me.
do I use that as concrete proof? Because this is our proof. He has no alibi.
Mm.
You just grab the book and dip. I think you should just grab the book and dip.
It's possible. It's one way to do it, but like,
You could run hella hard.
wait. I confirmed that all of the dates, the logs stopped at 1
Oh, yeah.
a.m.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Take the book and dip.
No, I have an idea now. We can go bring CC here, and
Dude, by that time.
Huh?
Oh, CC to check the logs?
no, we asked for his alibi on the front desk. Then when he says he was here attending, we check the logs.
Alright, do what you need to do.
Alright.
Alright, so what do you guys want to do?
I don't think you should leave the pages there, though.
He doesn't know that I check the pages.
That's true.
What do you guys want to do?
Alright, let's do it then. Let's roll with
Because
your
if I
plan.
rip them out, then
Yeah,
they lose
let's roll with your
value.
plan then. Let's roll with your plan.
Alright.
Full
I put-
stealth.
Everything, put everything
everything
back the way it was.
So you're putting the book back?
Yeah.
Alright, so you try to neatly...
Everything back the way it was before you.
give me a sleight of hand check to replicate how you found it. 15. Okay, so you attempt to do your best to replicate how you found the book to make it look like it was undisturbed. Hopefully he won't notice that you rummaged through the book, but you now know without a doubt in your mind that the dates and the lack of information at those certain time periods corroborates with what your hypothesis is.
I walk out and start heading to CC's immediately.
So you and
I follow
Magnus
suit.
walk out. Lady Lionhardt is with you, Arithemaya, in this hazy room, and she looks really uncomfortable. Should we stay in here?
They're probably checking on some guy.
Behind closed doors. What stuff?
So
They're probably checking. I heard that or Blyatov actually threw up with alcohol.
Who's getting diddled on the ship? Oh, that was Pedro.
you think we should wait here?
It's a nice piece.
Just in case, I'll give it a bit 5 more.
No.
Alright.
I walk in the backwards wall.
Unless you want to go ahead if you want to.
To be honest with you, Arithemaya, I feel a little uncomfortable in here.
That's what a sister of a goddess would say. I mean, if you want to go, be my guy.
I would love to go. I'd prefer if we go.
If we? Okay, sure.
So, I would say 20 minutes passes, and Blyatov and Magnus, you guys make it to Cece's office. It is now nighttime. Definitely nighttime. But, the Sentinels, they don't sleep, right? The Sentinels' place is still alive and bustling. Well, not as much as it during the daytime. However, you guys walk to Cece's office, and there he is, again, looking through the information, just struggling to make connections. So Arithemaya, what do you want to do in the meanwhile?
Well, considering that Lionheart wants to leave, well, we both leave.
Okay, so you guys exit from the Angel's Breath. On your way out, the gentleman said you were paying for the service, well, the rest of the service in the
Who said that?
Shadow step away.
your companion, your elven male companion said that you were paying for the, not for the liquor, but the other service that we provide for you.
That piece of elven dung? Ah, great.
Yeah, the one who
How much was
requested it.
again?
There will be
much
10
was it?
10 gold pieces if you don't mind.
Does one platinum piece work for you?
1 platinum piece will suffice.
I just like flick it to him.
Sure, and he
Yeah.
catches it.
Yeah.
Which is kind of he seems like an old dude, but it's kind of unnerving how he catches it. Like catches it.
I noticed it, right?
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Huh.
Please do come again.
Oh, no problem. I will. Let's go,
So-
Lionheart.
So Lady Lionhardt kind of like looks at him, and as you guys part, looks back at you, and you guys are now outside of the Angel's Breath. In the meanwhile, Magnus and Blyatov, you guys are outside of Cece's office. There's like a very
wow.
faint light pouring out of his office, which could probably mean that he's still there, working late.
I knock.
You knock. Come in.
Come on.
You come in and you see again the investigator Cece, as the day progressed, became like more and more frustrated. Like, so what have you discovered?
I discovered a suspect with no alibi.
Are you talking about Baudry Silvermoon?
No.
No.
Talking about his front desk attendant.
Ryder.
Right there. And at that point, he kind of reclines into his chair and crosses his arms. What makes you think that? Is it about the thing that you mentioned before?
Seems like Padre.
I managed to question Vaudre, but he seems like a businessman and he doesn't really keep his employees in check that much. So if they were doing something without his knowledge, it's very possible. I don't think he's involved with this.
Understandable. So, what do you suggest?
Well, while Ryder walked away, I took a quick glance at their records, and it said that it suddenly stopped on the days of the murders at 1 a.m., even though they normally open and close at 4 a.m.
Right.
When I asked Ryder about what he was doing on the nights around 2 a.m., he said he was attending the desk.
So if
the
he was
log
attending the
suddenly
desk, then
stopped.
why is there a gap in that?
Exactly.
That is intriguing to say the least. So are you saying that our killer is not our 3 suspects, but this Ryder gentleman?
That's what I currently think so.
And he did have contact with all 3 of our victims, because he must have signed them in.
And are you sure of this?
Yes.
So, do you think we should press him for more information?
I think that should be our next course of action.
And again, you're sure about this, right? I don't want to go stepping on any toes that I don't have to. And you see him, like, at this moment kind of lean into his chair and his arms crossed. You see, like, there's like a glimmer of hope on his face now, but a tinge of uncertainty.
I'm sure about this. When I asked him about the description that the merchant gave, he seemed very suspicious. He denied knowing it, but he didn't deny it. It
Understand?
seems suspicious how he denied it. He's hiding something, and we need to find out what it is.
Understandable. So, would you like me to accompany you to ask our newfound friend some questions? Yes? No? What do you think?
I think that we need you there so that we can check the logs without having to sneak around
And actually cross-examine his alibi.
check his alibi.
Well, if that's what you think. And at this moment, Mr. CC gets up and he grabs what appears to be some kind of like outer layer of a coat. Like, kind of like, you know, something to...
Overcoat.
Not an overcoat. I don't think they had overcoats in this house. Maybe like, I don't know, something... I don't know, some material. Right?
Fur coats.
Fur coat? Nah, that's too bougie. Something
It's
more...
it's a hide coat. It's a leather jacket.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe it's made
coat.
out of leather or something. I don't know. Alright.
Cowboy. Confirmed cowboy.
He grabs his cowboy hat and his cigar. No. Yeah,
Grabs
so...
his fedora.
Yeah,
He grabs his vape.
he grabs his outer layer of clothing, whatever that may be. And, alright, you two, let's go. Let's,
His external clothing.
his auxiliary clothing, grabs it. Alright,
Pass me the ox, fam.
alright, you two, let's head on out. Let's ask this guy some questions. And at that moment, he kind of opens the door and kind of gestures you two.
All right, we follow
We'll
suit.
start heading there.
Okay. Okay, so, I want
Huh? Hold on, Alex needs to pee.
Blyatov.
Hold on, Alex needs to pee.
Okay.
Thanks for telling her.
Huh?
Alex needs to pee.
So in the meanwhile, Arithemaya and Lady Lionhardt. Well, Arithemaya, you guys are outside of the Angel's Breath. What do you guys want to do?
I look at Lionheart and ask, that was odd.
Right. Well,
More like it was odd how I flicked that coin as fast as I can, and he was nimble enough to actually grab it.
I didn't notice.
It's more like he has certain skill.
Well, I did notice that, but was he? What do you think
I
we should
can't
do, Arithemaya?
Well, we should rendezvous with the others.
Where do you think they went?
Let's see. There's no other place that we can go.
Right.
Let's just meet up at the center for now.
At the... Oh, right. Well, after you.
And we off.
Right. So, you guys mosey on over to this Four Lords Corner, essentially.
Okay, at this time it's still 8 o'clock, right?
Yeah.
Alright, so let's see. I look at the two buildings, the headquarters and the temple, and I'm like, I'm like picking which of the two would they actually go.
Okay.
I'm like,
So as you're making your way over, you actually see you're picking between the temple and the headquarters.
yeah, I'm like seeing where they would
Yeah.
go.
So as you're looking at the two, you actually notice CC and Magnus and Blyatov walking down the steps of the stairs down to the like the plaza area.
I see him and I actually run towards them. I tell Lionheart, they're there. Let's go.
Alright, so you eventually do rendezvous with Magnus and Blyatov, and Investigator CC. You guys are now all together at the plaza of the Four Lords Corner, rather the plaza of Wiham.
Alright, Magnus. What's the situation?
Yo, Alex, you there?
Well, I said Magnus, not Blyatov.
Hold on. Actually, you know what? What time is it?
11:52. We're not there yet.
1 second.
It's not gonna be in the morning. Oh, Ray, Julio's hanging out tomorrow too.
Alright, hello?
Got more ketchup for the fries. Just throw
Okay.
some more ketchup on
Like,
there.
I'm back. So, for now, I think this is a good place to put an end to the session.
I
Is
would
what
say-
ending?
Huh?
We're ending it?
Yeah,
Is
I think
where-
now is a good spot to leave off on this.
No, another week.
So,
And where we about to head
the other side, the other half of the party can't do their mission because Osas Tausif is in Bangladesh right now.
Yeah.
So you guys can have another session next week, which will be great.
All right.
Unless
So-
unless Osas, our boy,
In that session,
actually
think
comes
of
from
questions to
Bangladesh.
ask the front desk guy.
Alright,
Like,
so
we were going there with him, but then I was like, wait, what am I gonna
So-
ask?
also for Magnus and Blyatov, as you guys were heading down the stairs of the headquarters of the Sentinels, Lady Lionhardt and Arithemaya joined up with you guys. So you guys are all now together. Okay?
Alright.
And we will bring this session to a close. So we'll catch you guys next week with the third installment of this portion of the adventure. So we'll see you guys next week. Stop.